know I had to keep you waiting. That's what I do. I do best, making sure you're alive and well. But we're here. We got my guy, Jared Barnes. We got my boy, Rashad Buchanan. It's on, baby. Raw Mind Sports Live. Let's go. Let's go. As what some people always say, turn me up now. Raw Mind Live is alive right about now. Welcome to Raw Mind Sports. I'm your host, Ryan Jones. We got Jared Barnes. He's never been on Raw Mind Sports, but hey, it is what it is because, that doesn't matter. We welcome one all. So with that being said, I'm going to give you the honors first. Jared Barnes, introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Jared Barnes. I host the Jared Barnes Show, a podcast that I've taken a break from. I'm going to be bringing it back soon. I host a live show on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, Friday called Tap In on my YouTube channel, The Jared Barnes Show. If you search that, you'll find it. But yeah, that's me.
And we got none other. Ray, you already know what to do. You know the introduction. Explain yourself.
Yes, sir. No, hey. Yes, sir. No, hey, it's good to be back, man. Some of y'all I've been introduced as Hollywood Ray, as you did the other day for me, made me look real famous. So I appreciate that. Yeah, but no, Rayshon Buchanan, I am the co-host of Missing the Point. That's a part of the 617 podcast in the Crowworthy family. That was just a new deal that went down. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also the host of the That's My Sports podcast, which is also on any major streaming platform. So I've been away from you for a while, man. So I'm glad to be back, man. We talk on a regular basis, but it's good to be back on the air with you. And I'm excited to meet and talk with Jared too. So glad you get back into the podcast again too, brother.
Yeah, definitely, man. We definitely love that. With that being said, shout out to PHP Eastern, North Carolina. Call them at 919-738-1507 or email Philip Lampron at phpeastern, EASTERNNC@gmail.com. And by the way, although it says the email North Carolina, my man told me the other day, he said, "Hey, Prime, I got clients in Las Vegas and LA." He said, don't let the name NC fool you. He said, "I'm worldwide, baby." He said, "Let your people know." With that being said, use the promo code RAWMIND. Use the promo code RAWMIND. He has a special surprise for any client. He helps you with financial literacy, to life insurance, to help you build your retirement. He has it all. With that being said, I appreciate you so much, genuinely, for being here on Raw Mind Sports. What's up, Courtland? So with that being said, we're going to get it going right now. So we're going to start with the first topic of today. And I'm going to start with this one. We're going to get this one out of the way early. I didn't bring this up to y'all, but Cleveland Browns, Watson, new QB. Here we go. Jared, you the guest, man. Let them know you're into the Raw Mind Zone right now.
Yeah, my big thing about Deshaun Watson, I'm a Steelers fan, so this really sucked for me. This sucked for me, bro. But because I was happy with Baker. I was happy with them having Baker because that meant they were going to be mediocre. They now got a top 5 quarterback in the league manning that roster. They now got a new offensive weapon in Amari Cooper. I expect massive things out of Deshaun Watson. Maybe not this upcoming season because he might get suspended. We don't know that yet. But it's interesting when you got to take into account how that locker room is. Is it going to be super accepting of Deshaun Watson? Because, you got to think, you put yourself in the mind of a player in that locker room who has a wife, who has children, and the situation is there's a chance there was 22 accusations of sexual assault with that man. How would that make your wife feel? How would that make your girlfriend feel if you're on a team like that? That's my thing. You got to balance that, and then you got to make sure he still thinks that he's your franchise guy. But I think it's going to be very, very interesting. I think that he could be the piece that Cleveland's been missing for the last 20 years, though.
Ray, I'm going to let you go ahead. And like you said, you've been away from a while, so I ain't had a chance to talk to you about this.
Yeah, 20 years is being generous, but I forgot they had a little bit of a hiatus, so that's why you said 20 years. But yeah, it's a little longer than that. But from Tim Couch to Kelly Holcomb to Derek Anderson, they haven't been decent since Bernie Kosar was behind center for them. So yeah, listen, they got 230 million reasons why he better be the guy, right? When you give a contract that's fully guaranteed, you better be the man. So yeah, Big Ben is gone. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's coming back off injury. Also, we know what with Joe Cool, Tiger Joe, Joe Exotic, we know what he's doing down in Cincinnati. But listen, on paper, it's a phenomenal.
I think he froze a little bit.
Yeah, he froze. I think.
But he's back. He's back now. He's back. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm.
I think he froze again.
I think he called us right in on that level. But you good now? You can talk now. See if you can talk now.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but no. No. So yeah, they listen. He's going to be on paper. Like I said, the move made sense. Obviously, the allegations should have been taken very seriously. They should still be taken seriously, even though I know he's not going to get charged, formally for it. They'll probably settle out of court. They'll do a lot of. I think they have a lot of civil cases that are still open. So those people will probably be, or those victims will be compensated, at some point. But yeah, I think he comes back. I think he'll probably get 4 games. I don't think Goodell suspended. Once again, if he doesn't get convicted, you can't suspend him for the whole year. You know what I'm saying? Like once again, if you're gonna suspend Calvin Ridley the whole year for gambling, once again, I know I get it. The integrity of the game, I get that. I'm with you. I feel you. I hear you, Roger. But 16 or 17 games for betting, for $1,500, as opposed to alleged sexual assault, and he may get 4 to 6. So that's just what's been the standard, right? He'll get 4 to 6 games. It'll be an extended training camp. He'll come back, and the rest I assume will be history. But I wouldn't go too crazy. I know you said you're a Steelers fan. Mike Tomlin still got y'all going thing, man. But they still. No, I'm saying like Mike Tomlin
Hey, Mitch is my guy. The MVP, bro. I'm good with Mitch. I'm good
MVP.
With Mitch.
Whoa, we going
no.
the
MVP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the MVP.
I mean, hey, listen, whatever helps you sleep at night, big dog. I'm with you.
And with that being said, you are always right. Way. So we got to introduce Cortland Matthew Griffin, because he's always an honorary chat guy. And I apologize. I'm going to do it for him now. Mr. Raw Mind Chat Guy Cortland. So there you go. It goes with this.
What's up? Yeah, what's up, man? Cortland, you're right. Cortland, you were 100% right. Hey. Right. He definitely deserves our stupidity alone. Like you were not wrong, brother. Like that is not. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
I mean, for me though, I'm gonna make it quick and short. Like Cleveland Browns, this is what they do. Like it's nothing new. They need something. Yes. They need some spunk. They need something to get it done. Baker Mayfield pretty much already sold them out before the trade even happened. Like I don't want to be here no more. And the Cleveland Browns organization, even though I guess, at first, Watson was like, I don't want to go there. Then it's like, you know what? I could be the LeBron in this situation. I ain't going to say Super Bowl, but maybe I could change things around literally and keep myself around for a while. And I mean, good city. You got great running backs, a good offensive line, has somewhat a good defense. So, when it comes to stuff like that, I understand completely a lot from like where it comes from. So for the Browns, I'm not shocked. Anybody else in the league maybe will say, I don't know yet. But the Browns are the one team outside of Jacksonville Jaguars that are willing to risk it all. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Those are the 2 teams that in the NFL they're probably gonna be willing to risk it all, good, bad, or nothing, and be like, we ain't lose them. All we can take is a risk. Because guess what they're at? At the bottom. And only at the bottom, it's only one way you can go. Is up. So with that being said, I get it from them, not the rest of the team. So they were going to take the risk regardless. And I'm going to listen to Cortland real quick before I go to the next topic. My question is, if Watson doesn't work out there, then it's the Browns organization itself or some supernatural that makes them a horrible for QB luck. Whew. I'll let you guys chime in real quick with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question. I think that some of it could be organizational because obviously, you're only as good as your front office, I feel like. And, that doesn't get talked about enough because players play. But I'm like, no, like GMs have to scout right. They have to find the right pieces that fit their coach's philosophy not just offensively or defensively, but really even off the field, right? So his talent alone, warrants him to be someone that's going to get them to maybe 11, even 12 wins. But, yeah, to me, it may be a mix of both, right? It may be a mix of both if it doesn't work. It might be something with the organization, and their failures. But yeah, I mean, they haven't been good since like Otto Graham, really, or Bernie Kosar. So I mean, it might be something where it just sucks when it comes to quarterbacks. But go ahead, man, Jay.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I think it'll work out specifically. Like, I think they've finally, for the first time, they got their man at head coach. They got their man in front office. Kevin Stefanski as the head coach and Andrew Berry as the GM. I think that is a great combo to have. I think one of the reasons they made this move and was so aggressive for Deshaun is they looked at Baker and they said, oh, we're going to have to pay this guy. Is he going to be worth more than $20 million a year? Absolutely not. So let's move on now before we have to bite that bullet and don't have a shot at landing a elite level quarterback like Deshaun. So I think it'll work out, but if it doesn't, I just say it's the Browns organization. I think it starts with the ownership at that point.
For me, yeah, ownership. It's been there for a while, but one thing about ownership I learned is that's an undefeated battle. And I'm saying raw thoughts. When you own it, unless you're doing something crazy, Washington Commanders owner, it's still a win-win for him because one thing about him, they'll make him sell the team, but he can get billions of dollars for it.
Yep.
So it ain't like he's losing anything, but yeah, he may not be the owner no more. But I'm saying, like, when you're an owner, like, we can talk ownership all the time, and we can talk. The only way we can talk about it is like, this dude not a great owner.
Yeah.
But that don't mean we can kick out the owner, like we can kick out the player, like we can fire the GM, like we can fire the player of the director of football operations, stuff like that. So, the owner ain't going nowhere. He just put people in place, and he's going to make his money regardless. And that's just raw thoughts. As long as he ain't doing that legal, like we just over here climbing the uphill battle with it. That's just one thing. Go ahead, Jay. You better say something, so I'm going to let you say it.
Nah, I was going to say, as long as he ain't cooking books like Dan Snyder, he's probably good. So.
Right.
Yeah, no, facts.
So I'm going to go to this quick topic right here. Let's take it to another subject. March Madness pandemonium. We saw Carolina in a tough game against Kansas, and I'm gonna let you guys give your raw thoughts. We saw the Final Four, a great farewell to Coach K to get to the Final Four, although he lost to a team that beat him in the camera and then beat him in the Final Four. My God, way to go out. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just wondering where Kansas has been this whole tournament. I feel like they didn't put him in any primetime slots. Like, I'm one of them fair weather college basketball fans. Don't come around to the tournament because that's when it's fun to watch. And I don't remember watching a single minute of Kansas basketball the entire tournament up until that Final Four. And they were one of the more entertaining teams I've watched throughout the entire thing. I was like, where has this been? Why hasn't this been on TV? Because some of those games were absolute trash. But North Carolina, I thought, was one of the better teams in the country when they're on. And that second half proved that when they're off, they're off and they're not great at all. Like, congrats to Kansas, but I would have rather seen Duke playing Kansas. I think they could have gave Kansas a better run for their money.
Thank you. I mean, I just tell you, thank you so much, Jerry. But go ahead, Ram. I'll let you get your little conversation out real quick.
Well, listen, before I get into the to that game, obviously Coach K. I'm trying to be serious. He already laughed.
Okay.
Listen, Coach K has had a phenomenal career. 40 plus years being there at the helm of Duke. Put them on the map as they weren't a basketball school before he got there, but they were known as a basketball, basically a basketball factory. So whether it was Leitner, G. Hill, Andre Dawkins, Maggette, Brand, you name it, he's produced a lot of NBA talent. So well done on the career, and wishing the best in retirement. Now to Monday night. I was talking to Ryan. I was landing from coming from WrestleMania, and I was like, hey, what time?
Always wins.
I said, what time NIT started? I said, what time NIT started? You feel me? And so I was feeling good, baby. We was up here going crazy. And this, but what Doom does, in my opinion, once again, there's no stat behind this, but this is just something I feel like is always a sports omen when you see this type of graphic get put up. They get to halftime. Carolina's up 38-22, and they put the graphic at the bottom of the screen on CBS that says North Carolina 21-0 when leading at the half. And I said, "Oh no, like don't just say, they're 20 minutes away from national show. Like just say stuff like that, right?" And when I saw that, I said, "Oh, it's okay. At the least, Kansas is going to go on a run." And we saw this, right? Because they blew the lead against Baylor. Like Tar Heels blew the lead against Baylor. They ended up beating them or whatever. But obviously, you can only play with fire so much before you get burnt, and that's what happened. Caleb Love. I'm trying to be reserved. I didn't think he was going to get into this early. I thought we were going to ease into this, but Ryan wanted to talk about it early. Get it out the way. Caleb Love. We
got plenty of NBA talk to discuss. Go ahead.
Caleb Love had me. I was pissed because I thought Caleb Love. I was like, we found a guy finally that can get buckets when needed. And unfortunately, the injury kind of hampered him. Armando Baker getting hurt. Kind of hampered their chances too. And when you're only playing 6 or 7 guys and you're playing them 28 to 32 minutes in college, that's a lot because there's only 40 minutes. It's only a 40-minute game. So, their legs finally got to them. But listen, the credit goes to Kansas. Remy Martin. I was drinking Remy Martin after because Remy Martin was hitting shots from the parking lot damn near against us to win that game. So yeah, Bill Self was due though. He was due. He had been in Kansas forever. And they ended once in 08 with Mario Chalmers to hit that shot over Memphis. So yeah, his IQ was poor down the stretch, Cortland. You can say that, but when no one else was looking to take the shot, like RJ Davis was looking to take the shot. Brady Manning, that last play was for him. That last play was for him, and he damn near stumbled by the basket. So it was just, I think that's what happened. The play was for Manning, he stumbled, so Love was like, well, okay, that play is blowing up. I got to make a play, and that's what happened. But needless to say, congrats to Kansas. I'm not as emotional as I was Monday night. I probably would have cussed Ryan out if we did a show Monday night.
And look, I felt like that after the game. See, look, it's funny.
I was pissed, man. I was pissed.
But I know the feeling. So with that being said, I'm gonna go to what it is, and I'm gonna just say this in raw thought form, and I'm gonna keep it real, raw thoughts. Shout out to Carolina. A lot of people canceled out Hubert Davis, like he was talking about earlier in the comment right here. He said, "Can we get a little to Hubert Davis?" I was like, Hubert Davis got those guys, a team that we never thought was going to get to championship as an 8 seed there, and they bought into his system. It was a push. It wasn't a traditional fast-paced Carolina team, but it got it done. So I respect that. Now, I'm going to tell you the raw thoughts. So I'm going to give you a little story real quick. Although I'm a Duke fan, the wife is Carolina fan. Her family all graduated from Carolina. My mom, my grandma, my uncles, cousins, except for my brother and my first cousin, are all pretty much Carolina fans. And my dad watched the game, and he even told me, as a dad, shout out to my dad, man. He loves sports podcasting. He actually talks about his stuff to New York Knicks. He's a Knickerbocker Giants fan and a Carolina fan. But either way, so he's straight up New York, born for the Bronx, born and raised in Southview. So with that being said, he want to watch the game. He said, "Son, I'm gonna watch the game with you. I know you don't want to watch it, but we're gonna watch it together anyway, because I'm your daddy." So as a Carolina fan, he's watching it. And during the whole game, right, when it was up by 15, shout out to my dad again. I said, "Man, this game over." I said, Carolina took the championship. As a guy that's in that position at a prestigious college, like, you make you want to say, like, that's great. My dad said, "Oh, this game ain't over." He said, "We've been shooting terrible." He said, "I think they're going to find a way to keep Manning from getting those shots." So the first half, Manning was getting those shots. The very first play of the second half, I watched and my dad watched. And the first thing I saw was, I ain't watching nothing else on the court. It's like my eyes zoomed in on Manning. It's like Bill Self said, "I don't care who shoots the ball. You don't let him shoot the ball." It's like they were just standing on him, making him not be available in the second half. And I kid you not, every single play, I still have the vision in my head. If this was James Smith, it'd be 4 corners. Love, stop shooting the ball. Every time you shoot, and then the thing my dad said, and the thing about it, son, he's shooting it early in the shot clock, not late in the shot clock. And he said he's missing. So he's giving these guys time to get back into it. And one thing you did say, Jared, it was this. People won't talk about Kansas. I'm going to tell you another story. I was at a food truck Friday, and the guy that's a diehard Carolina fan, he said, I'm ready before the Carolina Duke game. He was like, whoever wins ain't going to beat Kansas. He said, I'm telling you, ain't nobody talking about Kansas. Everybody talking about Duke Carolina game, but Kansas sitting over there by themselves. And he said, Kansas pretty much beat everybody pretty bad the entire tournament. Ain't nobody ain't talking about Kansas. They talking about Duke and Carolina the whole time. And he said, I'm telling you, man, this Kansas team is really good. And he was telling me, I'm like, you think so? He said, look, whoever play against them ain't going to beat them. Although Carolina had a chance to beat them, although Carolina had a chance to close out, they never closed out the game. And my dad kept saying, Caleb Love don't need the ball. I heard somebody say something. I think you said something. RJ Davis had the ball. My dad was saying, like, they had Caleb Love bringing up the ball and just keeping the ball. And he was like, instead of him passing it off, he was shooting because, like you said, people weren't open. But my dad was just saying, like, sometimes in life, son, you know how it is. You have breakups that you don't want to have breakups with in relationships. He said, some nights it just ain't your night. He said, regardless of how good Caleb Love played in the whole tournament, they just want his night. He said, Roy Williams, he said, not Roy, he said, Dean Smith would have said 4 corners. We up by 15. We're going to melt as much clock as possible and try to keep it there. But at the end of it, like the referees pretty much let both teams play. Some people, some Carolina fans say they didn't get those calls. I don't want to hear that. I'm just saying both sides, like I just felt like it was a game that would pretty much let you play. And I felt like if Carolina was up by 15, if we had the normal Caleb Love of the last 3-4 games, Carolina would have walked out of there, probably beat them by 30 easily. But that didn't happen. And then another thing that people don't talk about with Carolina is the floor spacer. Manic was a special person for Carolina this year because at the end of the day, you had to commit or you had to put somebody on him. He could just stand in the corner, and if you think you're going to collapse the lane off of Baycott on Love and other players, and if he's out there, he's like dirt. That's money in the bank. He probably closes his eyes and shoot it like I used to shoot back in the day. But anyway, that's just another thing. That's just another thing for another day. I'm just saying, like, he's a guy that allows people to get those not double teams in. That kind of hurt, man, when they took that away and Love didn't hit those shots. And my dad was kept saying, Caleb Love is not ready for the NBA. He's just fussing at me. I'm like, Dad, I'm a Duke fan. I don't care who win or lose. But he's just in my face the whole time yelling, he ain't ready, he ain't ready. Go ahead, Ray. You got something to say.
I wouldn't say, you know, I the OG, but I wouldn't say that he's not ready. I just say, obviously, you know, he's a sophomore, right? He's a sophomore. Like, so there's certain things that he has to learn, obviously, like any basketball player. Excuse me. But I just think that, you know, you got to drive to the basket more. When you drive, whether it's the collegiate level, high school, at the pros, when you drive and then kick out, that opens up the lane. Or you're driving thinking to score, then you pass. Like, that's when you know, that's when things get better. The issue is, though, and I talked about this with, you know, about my Celtics with Jason Tatum, but I'm gonna use the same analogy for Caleb Love, or just an analogy for any best player that's on any team, right? When the best player on the team believes that, or not believes, but when he understands that it's about the team I'm playing for, like it's about them scoring and not me scoring, that's when everyone's play elevates. So if Caleb Love talked about, you know what, yeah, I want to win this game, but if I'm gonna go get Brady involved right now. I'm gonna keep getting Johnson shots, Puff Johnson shots. Puff, he was on fire that second half. You feel me? So just really getting to that next level where you're thinking the game through. Caleb Love wasn't thinking through the game. It was just like, okay, I got to react. I got to make the shot because the momentum was on Kansas' side. So, and to the point about the fouls, I try to stay away from that too because it's just like, you know, we weren't complaining about fouls being up 17, 18 points. So let's kill that noise. However, did they call things a little more loose in the second half? Absolutely. Because when you have the momentum on your side, yeah, they're gonna let you give a little nudge. They're gonna let you, you know, do a little pull, whatever. And you know, Hubert Davis can't complain about that. He played in the 90s. He knows his Knicks was out here You know, and your dad knows. Your Knicks was out here. His Knicks was out here clotheslining folks. You know, throwing them into the stands and shit. So, you know, Anthony Mason, bumping people out of bounds. So yeah, they know. He knows. So, you know, but back to the Love thing, like he definitely is ready. But he has some room to grow. But you know, he's a pro. Like he showed at this tournament. Like listen, are we saying that Jaden Ivey's not a pro just because he went 4 for 12 in the game that Purdue lost? Like, because I'm not. Jaden Ivey to me is the truth. Yeah, you feel me? So no way.
Yeah.
So Jaden Ivey's a pro. Does not mean that you were not ready for the pros. I'm sorry.
No, I get it. With that being said, I'm gonna let you guys come back on. I got a special guest. Shout out to Essential Collections. She sponsored this particular part of the episode. Essential Collections by Monica Ritz.
Hey, Monica.
Ray Girl. That's Ray Girl. He's trying to get with her.
I was going to ask about what she was at.
He trying to get your number now, Monica. As a matter of fact, right. I forgot about that the other day.
617-952-3721, baby.
With that being said, these guys going to come right back. I'm going to bring on Mayor candidate Tate Mayo. So you guys get ready for this episode with him.
What's up, Ryan?
My main man, Tate. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Hey, look, I love the talk on Hubert Davis. Even as a State fan, I think Carolina, they might be onto something, making it into the finals right there. First year of Hubert Davis. I mean, as a lifelong State fan, can we get a piece of that? We want it. We want it bad. We've never had it. We hadn't had it since, 82?
Ooh.
Oh, man, I want it so bad. It hurts.
I know. So speaking of State, while we edit right now, while we got you here about State, and bringing out Jake Barella, I see you over there in the comments. Hold those thoughts. I'm bringing over Sean and Jared Bournes back in a little bit. So, how do you feel about State, man? You know, as a State fan, graduate of State, what does NC State have, to get to the next level? Football, basketball, baseball. Maybe you could tell me a little bit about NC State.
Well, I mean, look, as a State fan, going to the College World Series, we'll start with baseball because that's the furthest we've been in anything lately. Do I feel we got robbed? Yeah. Just a little bit. Am I a little salty? Probably. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. It is what it is. As an NC State fan my entire life, I was like, hey, we finally got something working for us. And then, well, that happened. That is what it is. Basketball, I like Coach Keats. Coach Keats is a great guy. He's a great recruiter. I wish he could keep these guys around a little bit longer. I was really thinking that this was going to be the year with Manny Bates going out. I want to say that a lot of it came, or a lot of our failures came from not having a big man, and we didn't. And Graham Nat, he went out early. And, I want to give Keats one more year to prove himself. You got to have faith. Sometimes, when you're in the Valley and you're sitting there and you've got the worst program or worst, we did the worst that our program's ever done in school history. How do you come up from that? It can't get any lower than that. I want to see Keats get around a 500 year next year. If we can do that, I'd be happy with it. The women's basketball, phenomenal. I watched more women's basketball games this year than I did men's. And then football, I mean, we got Clay Craddock on the team. I think we're preseason top 10. Hold NC State's beer. We're going to
it's all bro made, baby.
Yeah.
We got a lot of tradition here, man. We got a lot of tradition here.
Yeah, football and floods. I mean, other than that, what more could you ask? But yeah, I mean, that's my take on NC State in a nutshell. I mean, we got a great wrestling team, a great swimming team. I can't tell you that I've ever watched our wrestling team or our swim team, but apparently they're good. And watch out for our bass fishing team and also our rifle shooting team. They're top notch. Never seen them either. But
you bass fish before?
Oh yeah.
We gotta go. So when you gonna invite me, Tate? When you gonna invite me to go bass fish?
Look, man. I mean, today's the first day that I haven't had a jam-packed day in forever. It would have been a jam-packed day, but then that rain came, and I was sitting there working on the planter at the farm, and I was staring those storm clouds down. I was like, all right, come this way. Please, baby, please, come this way. And so I got off a little bit early today, and I was able to take care of some business that I was excited about. But yeah, I mean, if you want to keep talking about NC State and how we keep dropping the ball, or you want to move on? What you want to do? I've seen a lot of podcasts. I've never been on one, so I just want to say thank you so much for having me on.
And no problem, man. Most of my podcasts are sports, but also try to bring in enlightenment to like make sure I put in other things outside of just sports with the Raw Mind Sports Network. So with that being said, man, Tate, man, it's an honor to have you on the show. You probably the youngest guy in Tarboro, North Carolina, running for mayor at this moment. And by the way, for people who don't know what Tarboro, North Carolina is, for people who are sports fans, Ty Gurley's from Tarboro, North Carolina. Pretty much Montrezl Harrell's from here. But now of today's time, when I name all the legendary people from Tarboro who won multiple state championships, the big name that comes out is Ty Gurley, you know. Marquetta Dickens played at NC State, played overseas. She was a Wolfpack person. She came from Tarboro, you know. So TJ Williams played with Phillip Rivers, starting tight end at NC State. You know, so Tarboro is a small town, but it has a lot of heart. And I feel like Tarboro is like a heart-like town. So with that being said, how does it feel right now to run for mayor in the town of Tarboro, knowing you're the youngest guy that's out there?
Well, you know, I hate holding age against everybody. You know, I have fewer gray hairs than anybody else up there on the council. Some folks up there are old enough to be my grandparent.
Right.
I've served on the town council for 2.5 years now, and in that time, we've done some good things. We've had some hard times. We've been through a pandemic. I mean, when I came on, it was like, okay, there's December, January, February, 3 months of like normal times, and then it went straight to the pandemic. I'd like to say that, you know, it's been smooth sailing, but it hadn't been. You know, everybody's had a tumultuous couple of years here, and it hadn't been easy for everybody to navigate, myself included. And I think that if anybody says that life's been bread and butter lately, I'd ask them to go see a psychologist. But you know, coming out of everything, you know, you said you're right. I'm the youngest candidate. I was also the youngest elder at my church, possibly in church history, but I hadn't gone back in the books that far. I don't know where that book is, but yeah, I've served on the church session, sat there, and I gave that up so I could be the youth director at Howard Memorial here in Tarboro. And daggone it.
You got fans calling you. He got fans calling him on the podcast. People know.
Yeah, no, I silenced my phone. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I guess with Mac technology, I get it on my watch, I get it on my phone, get it on my computer. Got an iPad too. I had to sit there. It's on sleep mode. That way nobody, or do not disturb. That way it doesn't beep every time I get a text. But yeah, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought there, Ryan.
Oh no, you're basically talking about that. So we'll go to that part, like being a young guy in the church and doing all those things. So that being said, before I go into the raw conversations, as raw thoughts,
hit me.
What makes Tate be the perfect candidate for the mayor?
Well, nobody's perfect. Nobody is. Nobody has the right to tell anybody else who or what to do. I think in my time here in Tarboro, I've done some good things. I mean, everything from drainage issues to putting up light poles to, let's see. I mean, you name it. If somebody calls me with a problem, Christmas Day this year, I got a call about an electrical issue, and it wasn't on the town side, but the town was ready to come out. You know, I'm not an expert of anything, but I know a lot of experts. I know who to call, when to call. I've been up to DC I've made contacts with folks in DC, everywhere from HUD to our Senate offices. Had trouble with our congressman's office, but I'll sit there and I'll bark up the ladder. It doesn't matter what the problem is. If we can't solve it here in a local issue, we'll go to the state. If the state can't solve it, I'm going to keep barking until we get some answers. That's what I've done. I had a guy, Marvin Tyson, he called me up about his mom's house that was actually, it was part of something called the Down East Home Consortium.
Mm.
And, it was just a random call from a Maryland number. But, I get offered a lot of not the car warranty type deals.
I think everybody get those.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's tired of those, but I feel obligated to answer every call. You never know who's calling and about what. And I answered his call, and he said, "Can you tell me why?" I won't name the city, but they were the lead entity for the Down East Home Consortium. He got a $70,000 bill that he had to pay within a month, or else this city was going to take, it's not Tarboro, but they're going to take his home or his mother's home. They didn't have much to the family's estate, and that was the biggest thing. And I started barking up trees, and I figured out that, early on my time on the town council, we had pulled out of the Down East Home Consortium because they weren't giving money to Tarboro to fix up. It's really for folks on fixed incomes, especially in lower income areas, to fix up these houses if you have folks that have to live at them. And his mom had entered into an agreement, and it was a 20-year term where after the first 10 years, she got to live there for free. And then every year after that, it would be a 10-year reduction in the loan. Well, she lived 10 years after signing that agreement. So when that agreement was up, or when she had passed, the Down East Home Consortium, which was led by a city, sat there and sent the estate the bill for the entire home. Well, barking up trees, I figured out, well, at first I asked, are we still part of this? And technically we were. That city had never submitted our paperwork to pull us out of that program. So they were still getting money in our name. And we weren't getting any of it. So then I asked, well, are you going to sit there and any funds that you get from selling this home, assuming that that city was to take it, are those going to go back to Tarboro, or are those going to go back to the other municipalities that are part of that program? And I didn't get a clear answer. So then I went to HUD. I sat there and I talked to 5 different people, got a big runaround as to, who's doing the accounting. I was just trying to figure out how the money flowed, where it went, where it came from, where it was going. And I never really got a clear answer. Everybody said, "Oh, that's not my job." I was talking to the Greensboro office, and I kept getting, put around. So then I went to the folks on the city council of that city, and I got a response from the mayor and I think 2 of the folks on the council. And they said that they were going to look into it. They did. Ultimately, we were able to bring Marvin's mother's home. Her name was Estella Tyson Bell. She worked at Dry Cleaning by Wayne's right there on Main Street. We were able to bring that back. That stayed in the family. And then also during that period, I figured out that we sat there, and Tarboro itself, there was about $124,000 and some change that never made it to Tarboro. It was intended for Tarboro. We were able to bring that back. And then there was over $500,000 that Edgecombe County was due to receive. We brought that back as well. Now, all I did was make phone calls, send emails, try to connect. But had I not answered that phone call, would that have happened? And would we have brought that back? I don't know. I took that to the council. I told them what was happening. Nobody said anything. Nobody asked me any questions. But ultimately, the town staff they showed up, and they showed out. Unlike my NC State Wolfpack, and we were able to make sure that estate stayed within the family, and we brought a ton more money back to our community so that other folks' homes could get fixed up. So that's probably my most proud accomplishment, being a young man on the council. It doesn't matter what your issue is. It doesn't matter if it's midnight. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas Day. I've always answered the phone, and I've tried to be as honest and as open. The Tate that you'll get here, I've never been on a podcast before, is the same Tate that you'll get at the church, same Tate that you'll get at the brewery, and anywhere else you see me. But yeah, so I've gone on a little bit of a rant or tangent there.
Oh no, you're fine, man. So no, you express yourself. So I get it. Like you're saying, like you made a big accomplishment. You found a way to get the money. I know I had some questions a while earlier today about housing and where did the housing money go. You pretty much, I ain't even had to ask you. You pretty much explained what happened.
Well,
so now, go ahead.
Hold on that housing. So I was sitting there looking at the agenda. We've got a meeting. And we have meetings every Monday, or the second Monday of every month at 7:00 at Town Hall. It frustrates me greatly that folks will say, well, I didn't know that was happening. Why did nobody tell us? Well, the second Monday of every month, 7:00 at Town Hall. If you don't want to call us directly, if there's a problem that somebody's ignoring, come up to Town Hall. Take your 5 minutes. If something's not right, come say something. If something's right, like we've got the Spring Fest downtown tomorrow, come up and say, hey, look, that was awesome. Y'all did a great job. You knocked it out of the park. More often than not, we hear complaints, but, come to us with good things. When you see something awesome that happens, like nothing makes us happier than to hear stuff like that. But yeah, go on, Ryan. I'm sorry. I'm hijacking, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. No, you're fine. Because like you explaining what it is. So you basically explained the thing that you did. People talking about housing and talking about like where did the money go, and you talk about like what you did, and like you're being the youngest councilman on the thing. Now we're gonna get into the raw stuff, man. You pretty much talked about what you done, how you felt to become mayor, and what it is. Now we're gonna get into the good juicy stuff. You asked me earlier. We're discussing this.
Hey, hit me hard.
Oh boy, I ain't got the jazz today. So like, the question for a lot of guys and candidates, maybe, is like the statue. What allowed you to go this way instead of that way? The raw thoughts. Raw thoughts right here, people.
Raw thoughts. Okay. So the statue that Ryan's talking about, we have 2 Confederate memorials, or had one and still have one on the Common. When we were going through that was the most difficult thing I've ever gone through in my life. It was like having a loaded gun and saying, okay, do I shoot myself in the left foot or the right foot? In all that conversation, I had a lot of folks voice their opinions to me. Everybody from my preacher to the folks at barbershops to the folks at different apartment complexes. I sat there. We had I wouldn't call it a table. We had open discussions on the town common. And I had those with other council members. And, we tried to have as open and honest of dialogue as we could. It was very important to me because, no matter what you do, you're going to make somebody mad, right. And it's not easy to do that. And ultimately, at the end of the day, after having, discussions in public, having many discussions in private, I had a tally. I had a tally of everybody that I represent, everybody in Ward 8. I had, at the end of the day, I had 105 folks say, let it stay. And I had 6 people to say, leave it, or take it down, rather. It was not an easy decision. You say it's an easy decision, but it's a yes or no. And more often in life than not, most answers lie in between. And there's no ability to compromise, even though we tried. And that is what it is. And I understand that, there are certain folks in my life that won't talk to me to this day. Folks that I go to church with that don't give me the time of day. I mean, and it doesn't stop me from loving them or respecting them. And I understand that folks can be mad, and if they want to be mad, then that's their right. But at the end of the day, you know, like you said, I mean, I'm a young guy. I was fresh on the council, and then all of a sudden this comes up out of the blue. You know, we didn't hear about that in the public comments. Nobody brought that up. Somebody put that on the agenda. And, you know, it's like, hey, here's a problem, deal with it. You know, do I think that, I think that for the most part, the conversations about everything were civil. And ultimately, my goal was to get folks talking. You know, how can you sit there and have folks from either side of that spectrum talk to each other and to learn from each other? And that was my goal. If nothing else, was to get people talking that thought differently and to be civil about it. And for the most part, it was very civil. You know, it is what it is. My vote doesn't change over time. I mean, it's on paper, it's on record. And that's something that, you know, I have to take to my grave. You know, everybody else has an opinion that might change over time. That's not on a record. And that kind of sucks, man. It really does. There's no painting that as a pretty picture. Right. It was not a pretty picture. Right.
And there's a history from other sides and other places. So no, I'll definitely give you better finish up because this is your time.
Yeah.
So I guess what you were saying is like, man, I made a tough decision that most people in the world probably wouldn't make because they know they would have to hold that to their grave and it's on paper. It's never about if I say, hey, I like Duke today and I can say I can like Carolina tomorrow. It ain't on paper, right? So like I can say whatever, right? Yeah. So like when it comes to that, like that's a serious issue that took toll. So how did you deal with those different people who opposed to that opinion, and how did that work out? And now that you're running for mayor, you still have people who has that part of them that's lingering. I call that the scorn heart.
Yeah,
like people think about it as a scorn heart. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, look, anybody that asked to speak with me about it, I spoke with them. You know, Brandy, I sat in her backyard for over an hour and we talked. I went to Kingdom Cuts right there on Panola, talked to Dwight and Ty and the guys, and
you know my man Ty now. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I mean,
you didn't get a cut. You supposed to got a cut, Tate.
Look, I'm down. I mean, if they have a bowl big enough for this head, I'll be glad to do it. No, but yeah, I mean, you know, I went to Beasley Arms, or I guess it's called Northgate now. I asked as many people as I could. And, you know, ultimately, when you represent people, it doesn't always rely on what you want as a person. But if that's what the people say, and they feel so inclined to reach out to you, then, you know, if I'm not doing what the people want, am I doing my job? And, you know, look, man, I've taken more flack for that than anything I've ever done in my life. And I've done plenty of stupid things. But, yeah, I mean, I honestly don't like talking about it. It's something that I wish I could just like compartmentalize and just put in a little box in the corner of a room and stack a bunch of things on top of it. But I mean, it's just something that I've got to live with. And ultimately, you know, the monument is down. There's still the Henry Lawson Wyatt Memorial Fountain. And I think it's a little bit hypocritical. And I thought that then that how are you going to talk about one monument that was put up by the same people,
the other monument,
same reason, and not the other one because it's pretty. And you know, look,
that's raw thoughts there. That's raw thoughts. I get it. I mean, right.
Like you take the ugly one down, but leave the pretty one.
I guess basically what you're saying is let's take both of them down and just nip it in the bud.
Look, I'm not going to push anything, but if that's the reason that it's getting taken down, then it would only make sense to do both. But you know, the fountain's part of the town, much more so than, you know, at the end of the day, it's rocks and metal, and it's what people put their belief in, what it means, how it means, what have you. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wish anyone to have to go through that. That sucked more than a vacuum cleaner going through a black hole. I mean, there's just nothing good about that. I mean, it was like you just couldn't win. And, you know, and I'm stuck with, I guess, a label on me now. And, you know, it is what it is. And
that's my next question, too. I'm going to ask you this one question. Then I'm going to ask the next question. The first question is, why did you say yeah to keeping up the statue? And then 2, why would you run for mayor knowing this is like hitting you hard? Like, it makes you feel like, God, man, I don't know if I made the right decision, wrong decision. I don't know your preference because, of course, everybody has their own preference. Just like me, I like, dude, some people like Carolina. So I get it. Like, I have my own preferences.
Crazy because I like state, right?
Yes, sir. So how do I
reconcile that?
And then you mess around, not mess around. You eventually say, hey, look, I'm running for mayor. After that hit.
Well, I mean, look, everybody gets blows in life. Everybody gets knocked down. I understand if folks can't respect my opinion on that. And some of it's my opinion. Some of that is that of the community that I represent. And, you know, you got to move on. I've moved on. You know, I think the most at peace I've ever been in my life was leaving that council meeting that night, because all that stress, all that burden, all of that headache and heartache and knowing that, you know, just tension. When I left, it was gone. I didn't have to worry about it anymore. Ultimately, I'm only 12.5% of the voice of Tarboro as a council member. Now, how do I go from that to being mayor or wanting to be mayor? I think that I'm the best candidate, plain and simple. You know, I represent.
I like y'all some cocky candidates, man. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, look, you know, I've got a track record on the council. I've done some good things, and everybody else up there has done good things as well. But I think I've gone above and beyond. You know, when things are happening, I ask folks on the ground. You know, I don't ask the police chief, I ask the patrolman. I don't ask the fire chief, I ask the fireman. Now, when you can sit there and go from the bottom up, it's all about servant leadership. The way you can lead is being the best servant, to understand what everybody needs, to sit there and listen to calls on Christmas Day, to take calls any hour of the day, and to be able to respond and connect them to the right people. More or less, I'm an operator, like an old school phone operator. I plug folks in and I get them to where they need to go. You know, it's like when we had, I don't know if you've noticed, but we've had an uptick of shootings and gun crimes with injury ever since the pandemic. A lot of that stems back to that shooting in Canita. And, you know, what was really frustrating police officers on the ground was folks not getting through the system. I mean, they were taking, if they could get somebody, they'd take them to the magistrate, and they spent more time doing paperwork than the guys that were doing the shootings spent in jail. You know, you sit there and I try to work things out behind closed doors as much as I can. And then when things are going bump in the road, that's when I'm like, hey, hold up. I ran my mouth, and we ended up meeting with the DA, Robert Evans, and Judge Wiggins. And, you know, they talked us through everything, and things have been a little bit smoother since. You know, you can't always do things behind closed doors. And when you can't, that's when you have to sit there and bring down the hammer a little bit, you know, put folks on blast. And I hate doing that. I hate the spotlight, and I hate doing anything that, you know, puts my name out there. And I really don't like the narcissism involved with being in.
That's a powerful word lately, because I get it. I get it. So with that being said, take Mayo as mayor. What can he do for all people?
I think the biggest problem that Tarboro has is transportation. We've got 14% of our population that is without transportation other than their legs. And, in this day and age, so I've walked to Food Line multiple times. I like to walk. Not everybody likes to walk, but
you definitely do. You definitely do.
I walk and I talk a lot. Probably more talking than walking, but no, I mean, it takes me 30 minutes and I'm not even that far away from the Food Line. And, if 14% of our population has to go 30 minutes, one trip, can only carry what they can carry in their arms, has to go back home with that. That's an hour. That's 5% of your day out the window. And if all you can carry is in your arms, you can't get everything you need.
Right.
So that's a little bit that's about 1 in 6 people. Is that right? Yeah, because 1 in 5 is 20. Yeah. So, I mean, that's like one person out of every average size family that doesn't have a means of getting around. The 3 things that I set out to do when I first got to town council: internet, housing, and transportation.
I'll tell you what, because my internet always go out at 11 o'clock every night. And I tell you, that's my little ESPN time. You got to fix that, Tay. You got to fix that.
Well, so, hey, for the internet, what we ended up doing, I don't know if you remember last year around Christmas time. I think it was last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? When like all of the town's internet went out around Christmas time?
Yeah.
It was like 3 days for one side of town and 5 days for another side of town. But so I had internet issues. I've got Suddenlink, and they're basically our only high-speed provider. You can get CenturyLink, but that's DSL. It's limited to up to 20 megabits a second. Well, when we had the internet go out throughout town, I sat there and I was like, Troy, we got to do something. Because I'd been 19 days without internet because somebody severed a cable, and they just didn't come to fix it. That's Suddenlink. And we used to have what are called franchise agreements, where the town can actually have an agreement with a internet provider or telephone provider or cable provider. And there was a bill called House Bill 129 that came through in North Carolina in 2011. And what that ultimately did, I don't know if you are familiar with Wilson's green light system, but Wilson County and Wilson the town, was it Wilson County or Wilson Town? I don't know. It was Wilson. But they had problems. They had Time Warner as their internet provider. And they had the same problems that we have. Internet goes out, weak connection, folks not getting the speeds that they're asking for or that they're paying for, just general unresponsiveness from internet providers. And Wilson brought Time Warner to the table and they said, hey, can y'all fix these problems? Like, folks are having widespread internet outages. It's absurd. Time Warner said, no, but thanks for the time. So Wilson brought him back a little bit later and said, okay, we'll pay for half the cost of upgrading our infrastructure. And Time Warner said, nah, it ain't worth it. So Wilson went and put their own fiber optic network in. And after they did that, I mean, they've got the best internet in North Carolina and Wilson.
My question is, what would you rather have in Tarboro? Like, would you rather have Time Warner or Suddenlink yourself? Like, because I know Time Warner. I think in your area where you actually live at, I think you get Time Warner. We can't get Time Warner.
No, we don't have Time Warner here. It's Suddenlink.
Okay. I had to make sure.
All of Tarboro.
I remember when I went and asked myself, they would ask me what area I literally lived in when I was trying to get Time Warner a while back.
Yeah.
Now I got satellite and internet cable. So it was like, well, if you live here, you'll be fine. I'm like, huh? So it was like a little part, but I guess you know yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did my research. So the coax cable that all of our internet, if you've got Suddenlink, that it comes in on, that was installed in 1978.
Whew.
It has been bought and sold 7 times since it was originally put in. It's never been upgraded. It's only been patched here and there. It is now owned by a company called Altice, which is in France.
Oh, God.
And, you know,
you've been in France before?
I have. I've been to Paris and I ain't ever going back. You know, the rest of
What?
France
What
might be
happened?
great.
What happened? What happened, Tate?
Well, I'd been in Paris for all of a minute and a half, and I didn't know where I was. So I went up to a police officer, and I thought, hey, if anybody knows where I need to go, it's that guy right there. Well, he didn't know much English. He knew every cuss word in the book, and he had no problem calling me that. Told me to go back to the United States. And I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm sorry, my bad. Didn't mean to make you mad, man. You got a gun. I'm in a foreign country. I don't want to end up in jail. I'm just going to go walk that way.
So one more thing before we get off, I'm gonna bring in my sportscasters real quick.
Yeah.
I bring those guys back on. So, what is? I know you pretty much said it like yourself. You pretty much let everybody know the raw thoughts of what everything is. Tate Mayo for mayor. What can Tate Mayo again? You're like, what are we gonna do? Like, you become mayor. Boom. What does that take? What do you need? What do you promise? And I know because you've been in the council seat, like know, like certain seats, like it's not what it is. It's what people say. It's politics. But Tate Mayo as mayor right now today, what is something that's different that every other candidate hasn't done yet?
Well, we're bringing in a fiber optic internet provider. They're providing fiber optic internet up to 10 gigabit up and down speeds to every house in Tarboro at prices that are competitive with the other competitors. The one thing we've seen a boom in housing, trying to work with the owners of Northgate Apartments, trying to just get the daggone parking lot so it didn't have ruts in it so deep cars were bottoming out.
Right.
Trying to work with those folks made me realize we gave him 6 months to fix a parking lot because it was a code violation. Just put some gravel and do something. He didn't do anything. And then when the end of that 6 months was up, he sat there and complained to no end, a fellow that I know very well that won't even look me in the eye or talk to me anymore, just because we were trying to get him to do the right thing. And then he went and raised rent on just about every unit out there to pay for the upgrades. I can't promise anything. All I can promise is I will listen, I will learn, and anything that anyone asks, I will follow up with. If I have to bark it up the ladder, I will bark it up the ladder, and I'm going to keep barking like I'm doing with the bike lanes right now, like I'm doing with CSX, not cleaning out this right away over here, right there behind Ace Hardware. If you look at it, it's terrible. It holds water. But the biggest thing that I think that Tarboro needs to accomplish, that I'm still working on and I'm going to work on regardless, is transportation, man. Everybody's got to get around. Everybody's got to get around. And if you can't get around, it's hard to live. And that's the biggest thing that we have a need for in our community that I'm going to keep working on.
Before you go, shout out to Cool Geese. Computer repair, does everything from computer repair to fixing phones, whatever you need. Give them a call at 252-452-8045, 252-452-8045. Use the promo code RAWMIND. You get a discount. With that being said, in conclusion, Ray, I'm looking at my band, Ray. I'm sorry, raw thoughts, man. Hey, it happens.
Hey, I forgive you.
In conclusion, Tate, say what you want to say in 2 minutes on what people need to know about Tate and what he's trying to do.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Ryan, for having me on your podcast, giving me the time, giving me the airwaves, man. I've got nothing but love for you, respect for you, and I just appreciate the opportunity to talk with you greatly. I appreciate the hard questions. I appreciate everybody in town and just making this town awesome. I mean, how many other communities do you have like ours that you can go around and sit there and know just about everybody when you go into a grocery store? You know, you go to somewhere like New York City. I'm a duck out of water, man. I sit there and I say hey and smile at everybody. I'm about to get stabbed. Around here, it's like, it's awesome. And when you get out and you really get to appreciate what Tarboro is when you see what the rest of the world is. I think I've done a very good job as a councilman here in Tarboro, and I want to represent the town. And to do that, it needs your vote. I might not be your vote, but if I'm not, or if I am, go and vote. It doesn't take that much time. If you have concerns, reach out to your councilman. Please do. I mean, I can't see every angle. I can't understand everything, and neither can anybody else up there. But that's what we're here for. We're here to solve problems and at least bark up the tree, And if we can connect you, we're going to connect you. That's what I've tried to do in the last 2.5 years. And however much time I spend up there, that's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to vouch for Tarboro any way I can. And, I can't promise that I'm going to make you happy all the time. That's impossible. But I can promise I'll listen. I can promise that I'll shake your hand at the end of anything, and we can go about lives and be friends. And that's what a community is. And Ryan, with that, I'll leave you to it. I know y'all probably don't talk about NC State too much. We hadn't had much to talk about. But hopefully, when I'm coming back on this podcast later on, I can talk about all the great things that NC State's done since I've been on the podcast last.
My man, take. Good luck in the race, man. And with that being said, I'm going to let you get off because I know you, what they say, giving hugs, kissing babies. I know it's late, so you're probably not doing it now on the East Coast.
Is it kissing hands and shaking babies, or kissing babies and shaking hands?
That's what it is. Shaking hands, kissing babies.
Okay, there we go. Ryan, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you again, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you too.
All right. God bless.
God bless. Right. We back. Had to get a little promotion in. Jared, I'm sorry.
Nah, you're all good, brother.
Back. And look, with that being said, this is what I call the raw thoughts moment. On my show, I let people go ahead and start the show. I may have to do a few things during that time. So hold on a second. With that being said, let's talk about Tom Brady back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm coming straight back. But Bruce goes to the front office, and let me put the I want to put the blinker on. That's what they do on First Take, the blinker or the ticker. Todd Bowles, the new head coach. With that being said, Jared Barnes, welcome back, baby. I apologize for the delay.
Nah, okay.
Get those things out. Let's go. Ray, you ready? You good? You're open?
Let's
right,
do it.
So there
Let's
you
do
go.
it.
Jared, you start first.
All right, so the craziest thing about the Tom Brady returning is the news that has been kind of underreported, the fact that Miami was making a push to trade for him. They were looking to bring in Sean Payton. They wanted to make Brady and Payton minority owners in the team. I don't think Brady's plans were to ever come back to Tampa, but then everything with Miami fell through because the Brian Flores lawsuit. I don't think Brady wanted to go play for a guy that was paying to lose. So part of that, I think Brady was sick and tired of Bruce Arians talking trash to him in practice, because Arians has gone on a retirement tour, and throughout his media presence in the tour, he's just talked pretty negatively. I mean, positively about Brady, but saying Brady does not deserve all the credit. I understand he's trying to back up his coaches, but let's be honest. The Buccaneers never win a single Super Bowl like in the last decade, like without Tom Brady. They don't beat the Chiefs. They don't even make it probably to the playoffs without Tom Brady. So Tom Brady's more valuable to that franchise than Bruce Arians is. I hope he enjoys his retirement if he stays retired this time, and I hope he enjoys his job in the front office. But Brady will continue to lead that team just like I think he has, and I think he's going to do a heck of a job. I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back and they're by far one of the top contenders in the NFC this upcoming season.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think with obviously the Rams, since they just won, will still be the favorites, obviously. I honestly think Tom maybe pushed for this in the front office, to say, hey, you know what?
I think so too.
Yeah, let's make this happen and get BA out of here, and and Todd Bowles can be the coach. I mean, listen, when you can go 9-7 with a Jets team, you can definitely coach.
Yeah.
So, I was happy to see that Todd Bowles was able to get the job, and I think that he deserved this. Well, so does Byron Leftwich at some point. So,
Yes.
we know he did. We know he did in the NFL and what he's been able to do as a coordinator. So, there's a lot of things, that were going, I guess, kind of crazy in Tampa. It was predictable to see that, or it was predictable to see this coming from BA. Like, he was going to go around saying, "Hey, I've done this, I've done that." I guess you didn't really see it as much in Arizona or even Pittsburgh because it was a different market.
Yeah.
But when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, everything you say, everything you do is going to be scrutinized. Now that being said, Tom's coming back for the 23rd year. Going age 45 season. I think that he, coming off one of his better seasons yet. I mean, his last 10 years is a Hall of Fame career. If we're being honest. And I know that folks think it was always Belichick, or now in this case they want to give credit to Arians, but you've seen what happened in New England now without 12.
Yep.
You saw what happened with Bruce Arians where he didn't have someone like 12 because Carson Palmer, even Andrew Luck for a little bit, like those, they are not they are not Thomas Edward Patrick Brady in the second. just saying. So
yes,
I'm excited to see him back. Like I'm happy for Bowles as to get that head coaching nod. I'm assuming Gronk comes back at some point. He's just enjoying his summer, even though he took a shot in New England today. Or recently in the interview.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
It came out. I was like, okay, like. It's like, bro, like if you hate Bill, just say that, bro. Like, because it wasn't Kraft. Like, Kraft gave you every chance possible to resign and get the money you deserve. So just say you hate Bill and keep it moving. And that is perfectly fine.
Yep.
But needless to say, I said Tom is back. It was shorter, than my high school football career. You feel me? So in his retirement was definitely shorter than my high school football career. But hey, he's back, and I'm ready to see him dominate for another year. And I would love for him to go out facing us. And Ryan, you got to have me back on if that happens. We thought it was going to happen this year. It was close. It was close to an extent, but they New England and Tampa Bay went home early. But needless to say, congrats to Todd Bowles. I'm excited to see Brady come back on the field later on this year.
I thought it was crazy that Todd Bowles did. I thought it was crazy that Todd Bowles didn't get a job elsewhere.
Facts.
Like this past offseason. Like, he deserved one. I think Byron also deserved a look. Like, I don't understand how neither one of them got even. I mean, I don't know if they got offered a job or not, but I don't think they saw this. I don't know if they necessarily knew this was coming, but they thought that maybe there was a chance of it, and that could be why they stayed. But either way, I think Tampa Bay's in good hands with the coaches they have, let alone the fact that they, like you said, they have 12. So
for me, when I look at this, right, I look at it on a level of Tom came back, Tom didn't like certain coaches, but I also look at it like Byron Leftwich, Todd Bowles, the saga of right now with Brian Flores situation. It's like, hey, we gotta expose how good these guys are. Bruce Arians literally said that I wouldn't be where I'm at without these guys, but we don't discuss these guys. So when he looks at it, he says, "Ha! I don't know where the front office opening came in, but it was like, it is what it is." So now you have Byron Leftwich, who's probably going to be a head coach next season. I think this is the first season and the last season he's in Tampa Bay, unless something just goes dramatically wrong. But on the other end of that, you can say, well, you got Tom Brady as a quarterback, a veteran quarterback, seasoned quarterback, who can make you look a lot better than what you are. I'm not saying like he's Tom Brady is great. He's a Hall of Famer, and he is. But your play calling, Tom Brady can probably find the open man. Every quarterback probably can't find the open man. So you go get another quarterback, you get another team, you're the head coach. You might have a guy like, you missed the play. But you had Tom Brady. Tom Brady don't miss those open throws. He's a good guy of reading progressions and reading receivers, stuff like that. So, like, he knows that. Everybody doesn't do the same, right? So I guess this scenario and the goal of the scenario is creating opportunity. And those Byron Leftwich will get that opportunity to like be a head coach elsewhere. Although, he played for a while. He stayed in the pocket. Him and Tom Brady pretty much are like similar. God remember even days he was in Jacksonville. Pocket. So
Wow.
for me, go ahead.
You heard it here first. Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady are similar quarterbacks. That's
raw thoughts, baby.
And that's a raw thought if I've ever heard one. It's a crazy raw thought, but
look, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying similar quarterbacks to legacy and accolades.
Oh no, you know better than
that. I'm saying it like they're both pocket quarterbacks. They're not Lamar Jackson. They're not Cam Newton. They're not Colin Kaepernick. They're not Russell Wilson. Like those guys, they're not even Patrick Mahomes. He's even mobile. What I'm saying is, from a standpoint of a pocket quarterback reading the defense, I'm pretty sure Byron Leftwich as an offense coordinator. I'm gonna be real. Raw thoughts. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Tom Brady on the field, but you have coaches who can see the field from on another end. I'm gonna say this one more time, so I'll make sure I say it correctly. Like, let's say for instance, if I'm playing wide receiver and I'm a wide receiver coach, I may see it differently from what the guy on the field may see it like. So those guys off the field can see a different way. They can see it a different way. Byron Leftwich is nowhere near the greatness of Tom Brady, but those guys have similar things. So let's say if they in practice and they're just both of them just dropping back. Tom Brady may see it one way, Byron Leftwich may see it another way. Or they may see it the same way. Doesn't mean that he can execute like Tom Brady. Excuse me. Doesn't mean he can execute like Tom Brady. I'm just saying, like, those guys, the quarterbacks, the initial instinct to find the open man is there. I just think that's what it is. He's nowhere near Tom Brady. So I had to make sure I had to put that correctly.
Yeah, please.
So I can hit it for you, Ray. Because I don't want you to think that I'm saying Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady are the same. They are not.
No, that's gonna be the title of this episode. When he asked me to share it, I'm gonna say the title of the episode is Byron Leftwich is just as good as Tom Brady.
Oh no, I did not say that.
Listen, we want to keep the credibility of the show, okay? You've been doing this too long to make a statement like that.
Man, hey, and I get it. So that being said, so that's what it is. So the next topic I'm gonna go to is had to pull it up real quick, people. We never did get into the here we go. Let's go AFC raw thoughts. Everybody's talking about the AFC is ooh, wow. Oh, Russell in Denver. Devontae Adams get with his best friend. Tyreek Hill gets traded in Miami. And Justin Hubert gets a good defense. So, Jared Bourne's show. We're going to let Ray Buchanan take it first.
So, listen, the AFC West is loaded. I know you were holding on to your NFC West being the toughest division. And they still very well may be at the end of this year, right? So I don't want to dismiss that. But right now, the offseason was won by the AFC West by all four teams. I won't say necessarily one because we don't know what Kansas City is going to be. But when you're able to get back 5 picks, for Tyreek Hill, obviously you lose a dynamic weapon, but you're really given a chance to really rebuild, really on the fly and reload on the fly. Andy Reid definitely drafts well when it comes to the offensive talent. So even though they need more help on the defensive side of the ball, but yeah, that they're loaded, man. Devontae Adams, I was shocked when I saw that trade. Like I remember being in the restaurant with my mom, and I was like, oh my god, like I'm like Devontae Adams just got traded to Vegas. She was like, who? I was like, you've seen him before, but whatever, mom, it's okay. But I think he's a really good receiver, and he's going to Vegas. So I was like, wow, that's talk about getting an upgrade after what happened with the Henry Ruggs situation. So him and Renfro should be crazy. Renfro runs routes, man. Whew, That boy is something serious. So I wanted him in New England coming out of Clemson a few years ago. But yeah, that boy's the real deal. And as far as Denver goes, right? Listen, Russell Wilson still has a lot left in the tank. I know some Denver fans, they felt that they was a quarterback away from getting to the Super Bowl. That's how, I mean, granted, I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Will they make the playoffs with Russ? Obviously, but when you have Judy, Sutton, I don't know if Gordon's going to come back. I know he's a free agent. So we'll see what they do at the running back position. Maybe they draft this kid Kenny Walker out of I think Michigan State. Someone like that to kind of take over the running back duties. But listen, on paper, the AFC West is definitely loaded. And teams around the league, not just in the AFC, should fear facing any one of those 4 teams in this upcoming season.
Go ahead, Jared.
All right, bet. So the Chargers, of all those teams, might have had the best offseason by far. They are in a tough city because they're in LA, where it's nice weather. It's a bunch of fair weather fans. They only come when you're winning. And a team that's in their city just won the Super Bowl. So they had to load up, and they went out and got Khalil Mack, and he might be slowing down and be towards the end of his prime, but he's still Khalil Mack, and he's playing across from Joey Bosa at this point. They said, all right, if we're going to get Khalil Mack and have a great pass rush, we need to lock down that defensive side. Let's go get J.C. Jackson. And then they went all in on J.C. Jackson, and that defense now is absolutely stacked. They said, if you want to beat us in this division, you're going to have to play offense. And then all the teams just kind of reacted after that. Like Kansas City, it was shocking to me that they traded Tyreek, but once they saw those Devontae Adams contract numbers, they realized they couldn't keep him, moved on. I think it's going to hurt their offense, but benefit them at the same time, because I think teams figured out how to play that offense with Tyreek. Just stop the plays from over the top, and you could tackle them. You can get him. As long as they're in front of you, you're fine. So I think Kansas City's going to go with a different approach this year. I think they're going to go a lot run heavier. And I think Kansas City could easily still win the AFC West because they do still have Patrick Mahomes. But again, it's a tough division. AFC West is going to be a lot of fun to watch. But I'm going to be honest with you. Chargers are going to win that thing easy, I think.
Okay.
Woo.
Okay.
I like the Chargers anyway.
I like it. I like it. Okay.
I like the Chargers too. I like what the Chargers are doing, right? But the other Ray says, because he claims Ray is the other Ray, he said that's still number 15's division to win. I don't care who they had. He said he even broke down the stats to where, like, without Tariq Hill, they still won a lot of games.
He loved Mahomes.
And I'm a Justin Herbert fan because I said he was the best quarterback out the draft, and everybody thought I was talking wrong. I was talking stupid. I knew he was the best quarterback. He had Keenan Allen. He had the guy Eckler. He had Mike Williams, the defense. But the funny thing about it is, like, even with Tariq Hill, the LA Chargers still found a way to beat Kansas City Chiefs. Like Seattle is San Francisco's kryptonite. Miami Dolphins somewhere is the Patriots kryptonite.
Yeah,
not
in
so I'm
Miami,
saying.
Yeah, in Miami for sure. Yep.
Right.
No, for sure.
And the Chargers,
get them down
it's
there.
the same thing, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So, like, when I look at it, I'm like, ooh. Like, that's what it is. Like, I'm saying Chargers, but I'm also saying, like, whoa, have a seat. Let's see what $500 million man, although it's not all $500 million man, Patrick Mahomes does to get past the AFC West. But he's the highest paid quarterback in the.
But yeah, they got a draft right though. Like we can. And Raylan, I know you either you listen to this now or you're about to listen to this when it comes out. But yes, 15 is still the best quarterback in the division. That's not the debate.
Yes, that's true.
Can you still do what you can do when the records of records aren't there? I think obviously we'll see what Juju Smith-Schuster does. We'll see. But I still think they still need to draft another lineman, in my opinion. So maybe they get Zion Johnson out of Boston College, or Somebody we'll see what happens, but they still got to build around him. It's not something where it's going to be him and Kelsey going all over the field like that. That's not happening. But go ahead, prime time.
Hey, look. So basically, what I was saying is because I wanted you to talk, get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andy Reid's offense is built around skilled and fast players. Juju Schuster's nowhere near Tariq Hill.
No, he is slow.
He's not even nowhere near Deshaun Watson back in Philly. When he was fast. So he likes those skilled. He ain't even Darren Sproles. So I'm saying like Andy Reid likes really, really fast guys. Even when he first got to Kansas City, what was it? The running back Miles?
Was Jamal Charles still there? No. Oh, now it's Davis.
Yeah. So he was even fast. Yeah. So like he likes those skill plays. He's not really in the business of getting a bulky physical guy to do anything. So now you bring in Juju Schuster. I'm not saying he's physical, but he's nowhere near fast as any of those receivers that Kansas City, not Tampa Bay, but Kansas City's had for the past few years. And now you're asking him to play a whole different role. My question is, what type of role is Andy Reid playing unless Eric Bieniemy is calling the shots? I don't know. But go ahead, Jerry. Give me your raw thoughts before I get to another topic.
Yeah, I think Kansas City needs to add a burner in this draft, and it wouldn't shock me if they went after Jameson Williams to add some more speed so that it could be Jameson Williams, Mecole Hardman, and probably playing Juju in the slot across from Travis Kelce, because then you got two big body physical guys in the middle, two speedsters on the outside. It wouldn't shock me if that's what they do, but
I'd be pissed.
I would also be pissed.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. And that would happen. Or even Sky Moore, too. Sky Moore's another guy.
Yep.
That's super good. Yep. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, continue, though. Oh, Lord. No, please don't.
They're going to have to add someone that's extremely fast, in my opinion. And then they're not going to – I think their offense is going to look a lot different. I don't know if it's going to be as prolific as it's been in the past. But I think they just kind of – because last year, Mahomes struggled a little bit last year. He threw a lot of interceptions last year. Like, he played really well. But in comparison to other years he's had, I feel like he struggled a little bit because defenses were doing things differently. He was trying to force the ball downfield because that's what their offense was meant to do. I think bringing in Juju, they wanted a guy that can play kind of similar to Travis Kelce, where they can just kind of sit down low. You can dump it off to him and get a couple yards. But like, in my opinion, looking at like all the offenses in that entire division, the most question marks at any receiver position is Denver, right? Like they have Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy, and this what's the other kid? Surtain. People talk like Surtain is really good.
Yeah, I mean he's good, but like when you look at the other teams' receivers, the Chargers got Williams and Allen.
Keenan Allen, Williams,
and then the Raiders got
Devontae Adams.
Hunter
Who's the
Renfrow.
other guy on the other side?
Hunter Renfrow.
Renfrow was amazing at Clemson. Good God,
those are two great route runners right there.
Hold on, did Renfrow get traded to Washington?
Who
was he at Washington first, Renfrow, or was he at?
I think he got drafted to the Raiders.
He got drafted to them.
Okay.
Yeah, he got drafted to them. I'm sorry, maybe I'm biased because I mean I'm as a fan of the FP team, I'm a Gator fan, but listen, Jerry Jeudy.
No, he's fantastic.
Listen, man, I don't know. He's on par with anybody in that division, hell, in the league when he's on. And I mean, once again, as much as I liked him, he was playing with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. So imagine what he's going to do with Russ. People thought that Tyler Lockett went off. Jerry Jeudy's about to have a hell of a season, in my opinion, if he's healthy. And so will Cooper Sutton. But don't see those two got to stay healthy. So I mean, I guess technically, if you want to go by names, yes, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Yeah.
You know, by name, they're the least of the division. But Jerry Jeudy, he's about to be judge, jury, and execution to some of these cornerbacks in that division. So it's coming.
No, like my biggest concern is just like how they match up with the Chargers and like how they match up with other teams in that division. Kansas City's defense is a little suspect.
The thing with Kansas City defense though is, as long as that offense is scored, that's what it was. Remember, this is what Ray brought on an episode 2 weeks ago. He was like, Kansas City defense was suspect at the beginning of the year. And what happens? Patrick Mahomes and them guys find a way when people thought that the Kansas City Chiefs was done and out of it. At the beginning of the season, what happens? Kansas City still finds a way to win it. Not even off the principle of defense, but like the ability to win it with those stipulations on it, I guess. And they still got to the AFC Championship with it.
Yeah, but people play them scared. That's the problem. Like Cincinnati wasn't scared. Like that's why Cincinnati beat them the first time.
Right.
Again, like you can't if you play them like, oh man, like, well, shoot, Tyreek Hill gonna get behind me. Well, yeah, he's gonna get his because he runs a 4-2 forward. But I get that. But if you press them or you play them, play them just not even straight up, but just play them like, like I'm not fearing what happens. Like I'm just gonna play whatever results happen. Then most times you usually stay within the games. It's the ones that you're backing way off and you're giving him a free release. So of course, once again, Mahomes said it best. Yo, F it. Tyreek down there somewhere, and he would just put the wrist and throw it down there.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So now we don't have that now. So we're gonna see, because listen, people not worried about well, I think Pringle left too, but people not worried about DeMarcus Robinson running down by somebody, or not worried about Juju Smith running by somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're more worried about the TikTok dances than anything else that he's gonna do at Arrowhead. So it's like, there's a lot of stuff.
By the way, he said, I'm not doing them with TikTok.
Please,
he's capping.
He's lying. On that.
He's lying. And listen, and you can rest assured, if they start the season like 9-2 or whatever, you can rest assured he's going to be in there talking about, hey, baby. Hey, baby. He's going to do a little dance.
And look, I'm going to do that dance.
He's going to do that dance. So that he's going to do all that. Juju won that beat. What? Juju won that beat. Like, he's going to do that, and they're going to be like, man, like, I thought she was done with that. You'll be like, no, we winning. Pat don't me dimes. And then it's going to be like, damn, the Kansas City Chiefs finished 10-7. You tell us what happened at the end of the year? Oh, because Juju Smith-Schuster wanted to be out here want to be team mascot as opposed to being the next Dwayne Bowe for them or Andy Henderson back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Let's go there. So I don't know, man, but we'll see what happens. But this division is going to be crazy. I'm excited to see how it unfolds, because it never goes the way you envision, and it never does. So we can think that Kansas City may run through it, or Denver, or whoever's going to run through it, or they may have the least opportunity, but Denver might turn out to be the most explosive, right? So you just never know. It depends on who they draft. It depends on who ends up signing there, who gets released in training camp and comes over, and you're like, oh man, like I can't believe so-and-so let them go. So as we know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So we'll see what happens.
The team in that division that honestly scares me the most is because people don't talk about him, is the Raiders, because Derek Carr is a lot better than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
And now he's got two, like, I'd probably say Devontae Adams is a top 5 route runner in the league. Hunter Renfrow is one of the best route runners in the league outside of maybe Cooper Kupp. Like, you put those two on the same offense with Darren Waller and a Josh McDaniels offense, that offense could be scary.
Yep.
You know all about Josh McDaniels, don't you, Ray?
I can't stand Josh McDaniels though. Can't stand.
Why? Him. Oh, let's go there. Let's go there right now. Raw thoughts. We got all night, baby.
Can't stand him. Can't stand him. Well, no, I'm not gonna bore these fans at 12 o'clock about that. That was the case, but no, I think to me he was just a very predictable play caller, and maybe part of it was because of how Bill wanted to run the offense, and even though he was the play caller, Bill was still the guy that made all the decisions, whether they installed new players on Wednesday or, do you want to throw a walkthrough on Friday and then, game day on Sunday. They just became very predictable. Like, it would get to a 3rd and 12 and it's like, yo, like throw a screen or throw a dig route, throw something. They throwing a halfback toss, which is, one of the first plays you learn on Madden, a halfback toss to either to the left or to the right for 2 yards. Now it's 4th down. Now it's 4th and 10 on the 31-yard line, and you're punting because it's about field position. Man, forget all that. I now clearly maybe he wasn't the setback in New England, because clearly he's being aggressive. He told Mark Davis, he's like, look, go get Devontae, go get he's brought mad Patriots over there too, like Brandon Bolden's over there.
Yes.
Dave Ziegler, who was I think part of the front office over there. So they're bringing a lot of New England people over there. So Raider fans, you're welcome. You know, y'all been crying about, you know, the tuck rule for the last, you know, 20 some odd years. So even though you made the Super Bowl the next year and got beat by 3 touchdowns, but you know, that's neither here or there. But yeah, Josh McDaniels, like I say, in New England, I can understand him. But hey, Raiders fans, Raider Nation, Raiders. Well, deal with that. Congratulations, and you know, good riddance, Josh McDaniels.
So with that being said, shout out to guys, follow everybody that's listening. Follow Raw Mind Sports on Instagram and click the link in the bio. Take a survey by the students who interviewed me earlier this week from North Edgecombe High School. And they want to be able to hear thoughts about sports and all that stuff. And that's one thing. Again, shout out to All Star Sports ACCS. Give them a call at 252-231-0238 or visit them at the website allstarsportsaccs.com. Use the promo code RAWMIND. Use promo code RAWMIND, and you get a 15% discount on all sports apparel. They got the Patriots in there. They have Pittsburgh in there. They have the LA Chargers. They have the Las Vegas Raiders. She literally has everything in that shop. So, and I'm gonna let y'all go ahead. So, here's go the next one, cause I think y'all been waving this thing entire time before we get into something else. What do the Lakers do? Oh, I see my man Jared Bourne show. Put his head down. Ray Buchanan laughs. So
go ahead, Jared. Go ahead, Jared. No, go ahead. Cause I'm gonna wait. Go ahead, Jared. Go ahead, Jared. Yes, sir.
I gotta stretch for this one. Gotta stretch for this one.
He just started stretching.
Woo! Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jared. Start us off. Yes, sir.
Listen, I hate to say this for the Lakers because it's gonna be rough when they have to move on from LeBron. But it's time. It's time to move on from LeBron. This is the roster. This is the roster that LeBron wanted. And they're terrible. Missed the playoffs.
What else?
Couldn't even make the play-in tournament.
What else?
You're not getting your answer.
What else?
His best friend couldn't even stay healthy.
What else? Come on, keep
going. You're not getting your answer.
Ain't nobody on the team can shoot threes, and the game is shifted to that.
Yes, sir. My boy, my new boy, JB. I'm calling JB. My man is preaching right now, y'all. He is preaching. He's giving y'all a sermon. Listen to the man. Keep going.
Go ahead.
Nah, but like for real though, like they had a shot at getting De'Aaron Fox before the season started, and LeBron picked Russell Westbrook. And I understand Russell Westbrook's a stat machine, but Russell Westbrook can't shoot a three for his life. I'm a Oklahoma City Thunder fan. Listen, basketball is rough for me, but like we got picks in the future. But like I watched Russ for the longest time. We were not going to do anything, even when he was putting up massive numbers and winning MVPs. And when I saw him go to the Lakers, I was like, "Yo, why are they just trying to put together the 2010 All-Star team?" Like, I don't necessarily know if LeBron thought this roster was going to be All-Star caliber, but it's just time to move on because like this, like it's too much. Like LeBron at that point has pretty much more or less like the guys that he would have had 3 years ago for the AD trade. I was never a fan of the AD trade, but technically they won a ring, so it worked out. But the young talent that they had, like, yeah, none of them necessarily panned out because I don't think they were really ever given a fair shot at their first team. Imagine if that young roster, LeBron could have used them and built around them for a little bit, and then when they got, because he's going to make them better, he would have made them better. He could have flipped them guys for even more. And I just think it's time to move on from LeBron and cut your losses while you have it and go after somebody young. Go after another All-Star.
Woo.
Go ahead, prime time. Go ahead. It's your show, your time. Go ahead.
Oh, so you want me to go right now?
Yeah,
you don't want me to go right now, do you? Because I go, it's gonna be raw thoughts. Raw thoughts on the way. So this is where I'm going at, man.
This is beautiful.
Go ahead, Ray. Cause I gotta go. I gotta I gotta finish up something.
You see how we do me, Monica?
Okay, man. Hold on. Okay, my head.
No, listen, man. I done made a lot of jokes. But this is a moment to say, even to the other Ray, to you too, Mr. Jones, prime time. I told you, because when you had the three of us, two of us on earlier, and you was like, man, or you and Ray was like, man, give it time, he'll catch fire here. And I'm like, nah, like you can see, bro, like the writing's on the wall, like the chemistry is not there, the talent level, most of all, is not there, and then they weren't deep enough to withstand the injuries that end up happening, right? So listen, we know AD is Mr. Glass. Like we know that he was Mr. Glass in New Orleans. He was Mr. Glass even when they won the championship. But once again, like you said, Jared, like because they won, it was just the traders ended up being justified. But at the end of the day, listen, looking at if you go to Basketball Reference, you'll see like, oh man, Russ averaged 18, 7, and 7. That's not bad, and it's not bad at all. 7 rebounds, 7 assists for a guard is phenomenal.
How many turnovers?
And to his credit, though, I mean, except for last night against the Warriors, the man essentially played in every game. So he's a workhorse in that regard. He's going to show up to work. So that I can't knock about Russ. However, he just simply was not the right fit, and that's okay. Does it taint his legacy forever? No. Does it highlight or illuminate some things that was being seen in Oklahoma City or even seen in Houston? Absolutely. And once again, the Lakers fans are not going to be patient. They're the 17-time world champions, just like the Celtics. They're not going to be patient about what is going on. They want to win that product on the court. And I mean, just a few years ago, they was sagging off of him in the Western Conference semifinals. So I just don't know how they went from that to saying, hey, maybe he's the guy that can do this, that, and the third. And I don't even usually Magic talks about it on First Take. They put him on, Magic put the blame on LeBron, saying, hey, we could have got DeRozan, we could have got this guy. And I'm like, you kind of copped out, Magic. Yo ass should have stayed. You was the one that was talking. You and Rock you could have got together and say, hey, you know what? Listen, LeBron, I know you're the one that want to call the shots, but look, if we can get this guy here, that guy here, that's gonna benefit you more and maybe have less minutes on your body when it comes to April, May, and June, then let us do our job. But the problem is, and this has been most years with LeBron James led teams, he still wants to be the reason why they win. And that's his downfall. He wants to be the reason why they win. And it's like that's a problem. Once again, 30 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds, or 8 rebounds, whatever, 6 assists. Phenomenal. Great. That is awesome. He's 37. I get it. Shout out to Supreme. I get it. Like I get that. We will never witness this again. That's my goat. That's my king. Great. That's awesome. But he's going.
He said it so nonchalant. That is great. That is so awesome.
I mean, because it's just like it's wild. And once again, even on the shows that I do, I get painted as like, oh, I'm the LeBron apologist. It's like, no, he's a Laker, man. I am Boston through and through. I hate the Los Angeles Lakers.
Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics. New England Patriots.
Boston Bruins, whatever. Like that's where I'm at. So anything LA, this it was beautiful. Listen, you can even cut out this part for me if you want to, because everything that Jared said, that's all you need. That's all you need to hear. I'm just supplementing what Jared said. Jared gave us a sermon for 3 minutes here about why Russell Westbrook is no longer the guy, and that LeBron, may need to fade off into Rodeo Drive. So you can cut out this part. I'm just saying, make another Space Jam, make another train wreck, whatever you want to do. I do love the shoes though. I got me a pair of them over here and behind me. The shoes are nice, but other than that, brother, it's I won't say it's time to call it on a career, but I do think he should end his career in Cleveland though, and that's a raw thought. Go back to Cleveland. I think they could have went far in the East with him this year. I firmly believe that. Mobley, Love, Garland. I mean, Sexton's been out for the
Is it
year,
interesting
but
that Love has still been in Cleveland since LeBron left?
I mean, you would too. They gave you $118 million. Where you going?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Right, where you going? Where you going? And once again, you're not getting it from anywhere else. You're not getting it from. You know what I'm saying? So, like someone else will say, here, Mr. Love. Here's X, Y, and Z. So Kevin Love and Chris Bosh have the two of the best agents of all time. Because the fact that Chris Bosh had a serious, and I won't joke. I'm not joking about this, but he had that serious heart issue or blood clot issue. I think he had.
Right.
And the fact that he got another $118 million. Listen, his agent needs to become my agent so that I can continue to get some type of money, because that is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. But needless to say, this has been a wonderful season for me to watch the Lakers, and I hope that they enjoy the NBA playoffs from their wonderful homes with their lovely families.
So with that being said, for me, like for the Lakers situation, it's not necessarily. I'm a diehard Westbrook guy, but not for the Lakers situation. And I'm just saying, because I look at it from outside just basketball, from all angles, like LeBron and new guys. I'm gonna be honest. I knew the firing of Frank Vogel was coming around sooner or later, not because of Russ, not because of LeBron. Excuse me, take that back. LeBron put this roster together. It was more so like when I listened to Magic, I even watched this on HBO Max or HBO winning season, and it shows like how genuinely close Magic and Jeannie Buss is. I don't think they were never made to be in business together, but like they have a genuine relation because her dad took over the team the first year when Magic Johnson became an LA Laker. Well, Jerry West and everybody else didn't want Magic. Buss said, I want Magic. So they have more so, although he's a player, they have more so of a real relation because first year owner, first year player type of stuff. So Jeannie sees that. What I think is honestly Showtime. Raw thoughts. This was not a Lakers move. Everything that happens to this team was not a Lakers move. It was like, let's trust LeBron, whatever he says, and go. And to get LeBron in the building, that was a Magic Johnson closing the deal because he's Magic Johnson. It's the principle of respect. And so I guess LeBron was like, okay, this is Magic Johnson talking. Regardless of I've seen every show, whatever he done, this is Magic Johnson talking. So you get Magic Johnson in the building, right? You get Magic Johnson in the building. You get him to bring in LeBron. He's before they won the championship. Then you get LeBron in. And pretty much when Magic was there, at first he was like, cool. But nobody ever talks about the reason why Magic Johnson resigned from an organization he won 5 championships from. Kurt Rambis is still there. From Pelinka, Kobe Bryant's agent is still there. Nobody talks about why Magic left, right? And the facts came out this week, and I've been knew that. LeBron is LeBron. LeBron wants him to control the show and narrative. And the crazy part is about his raw thoughts. LeBron can probably control, is it 31 teams or 32 teams in the NBA?
No, it's 30, yeah, 30.
30? He controlled 29. The Lakers are like, we're going to sell tickets with or without you. That's really the only team that can say we can sell tickets with or without you.
He wasn't controlling Miami, though.
No, I mean he didn't. So
I lived out there. I'm telling you, like Pat Riley is the man. He is the guy out there. He's the Godfather.
And one more person too. I'm gonna say this to you, raw thoughts. Udonis Haslam, because apparently he's still there. He's taking them cheap contracts, and people love him in Miami. Ain't no way I'm gonna sit there forever.
He listen. He's Dade County born and raised. Shout out to Carroll City. That's my former students out there. Shout out what's going on, y'all. So yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, man, keep going though. Give me your therapy session. I'm here for you.
Oh no, I ain't no therapy session. It's gonna be raw. So look, the Westbrook situation, that was LeBron bringing him in. Trust me, the Lakers wouldn't have took they wouldn't have took Westbrook if it weren't for LeBron and give it a check mark. Now he gets there. LeBron likes those guys, and people don't understand. Like LeBron likes those guys who can play on the road, play off the wing. I still control the destination. Regardless whether we like Russell Westbrook or not, he's a guy that needs the ball in his hand. Not saying he has to shoot the ball. Not saying he's taking a lot of jump shots, but he needs the ball in his hand. But if you're trying to put Russell Westbrook on the island, I'm going to do my thing. LeBron, I'm here. I'm LeBron. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to kick out to you. That's not going to work. That never has worked. LeBron, because Westbrook is not a jump shooter. So that was already Now this is the real thing right here. And I'm going to throw it to y'all real quick before I go into anything else. Russell Westbrook still has a $47 million contract he has to opt into. As a man, good, bad player or not, me, Ryan Jones, is opted in. That money takes care of my family. Now, if he opts into this $47 million, they can stuck with him next year. It's the next part. Ain't nobody gonna trade for Russell Westbrook for $47 million, so they stuck with him. Now it's forced to move some other people around because as a man, unless you can easily say, I'm gonna cut Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook wins. You cut me, I'm gonna get my $47 million. You trade me, I'm gonna get my $47 million elsewhere. So now the Lakers are stuck between the rock and the hard place because right now the level of play that Russell Westbrook had the entire season, ain't nobody gonna want Russell Westbrook. One player for $47 million, and you gotta get rid of 3-4 players. Ain't no way that's gonna happen. That's logic. That's common sense. If I'm trading for Russell Westbrook right now, as a diehard fan, you say, I want you to get Russell Westbrook. $47 million, you can keep him. I'm gonna find me another player. I'll wait till that contract over with and get him for cheaper. So that's a GM and an owner talking. It's no way you can say you're gonna get him $47 million and get rid of everybody else. It ain't happening. So the Lakers are literally stuck with Russell Westbrook because I doubt Russell Westbrook says I'm not. And he'll be crazy if he don't to opt out of $47 million. Ain't no way it's gonna happen. Now you gotta say, okay, that part. The only way this works for the Lakers is if Russell Westbrook plays great or amazing the first 20 games of next year, or he plays well by the All-Star. If he doesn't play well by All-Star, Lakers gonna have to move other players. But one player that ain't gonna be moved, and if he does be moved for $47 million, then they got off lucky. But if he moved off like that, that's what it is. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, if I'm Russ, I'm not opting out of that either. $47 million is a lot of money. $47 million is a lot of money. No, but they need to find a way to get him out of there just if they want to be successful and if they want to keep. Because if I'm LeBron and he wants to opt in and take 47, like, I don't want to be there either because you're not going to be able to win again because they're not going to be able to have a bench. They're not going to have depth. They're going to be old. They're not going to be healthy. I mean, I know Ray probably loves it because that means Lakers are bad for another year, but nah, they got to find a way to move on from Russ before the season starts. They got to be able to get a roster in there before the season starts.
All right, let me put on my.
I'm gonna go back to that.
And wait, you missed my little dance, Ryan. Prime time, you missed my dance.
I saw all that. I saw everything. I saw what you were doing. I'm multitasking, baby.
Hit him, John. Hit him with the flag, Mr. John Wall, baby. Maybe that's the guy that comes into there and does something right instead. Which listen to me, I'm not. To me, John Wall is a great value. Westbrook. I think he's even worse than Westbrook. That's just my opinion, but. So imagine that. I think someone's worse than Westbrook, Ryan. Can you believe that? But no. Stephen A got killed for this, but I agree with him. AD's the guy you got to move.
I agree.
If you want to get
you took it out of my mouth. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if you want maximum return on a player, regardless of his injury status, or the injury history, I should say. Excuse me. I think AD's the guy you got to move. So maybe you bring him back home to Chicago, and you bring back Lonzo, Caruso, and Vucevic for AD, and they can kind of Chicago could figure it out from there. With re-signing Levine and then having Levine, AD, DeRozan, Ayu Dosunmu, Kobe White, and Patrick Williams, and just go from there. Which will still be a very formidable team in the Eastern Conference, I might add. So I think that's what happens. I think AD says, "Hey, I want to go home," and they make that deal. But if I'm LA, I do that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. If I can get back Caruso, Ball, and Vucevic in the same deal, and now that day, I think you can move Russ. Then now you can move Russ to you can move Russ elsewhere after that, because I think there was a report coming out that Charlotte has emerged as a team that's looking to move him. So I mean, just what are your thoughts about that? Because to me, that's insane. But what do you think about Charlotte being a trade target for Russ in the offseason?
I think that's Michael Jordan trolling. He's the president of the Hornets, right?
Yep.
He's in charge of stuff like that. I think he saw that LeBron couldn't win with Russ. He said, "Give me Russ. I'll make the playoffs with Russ if you give me Russ." I think that's just Jordan trolling LeBron. But personally, that's all I think that one is.
So I did miss a little bit. So what I was going to say was another thing about Westbrook. To get back into that just a quick snippet. Like, people have been bashing Westbrook all year long. And regardless if we can help it or not, everybody been hurt. LeBron been out. AD been out. And even though he's been trash, at least he's been available.
Yeah.
But these guys ain't even been available. So what else say? Westbrook been available, but they ain't been winning no games. That roster won't set up for Westbrook to be taking over the team while LeBron sit out some games. Although LeBron did have some amazing games where he still scored 50 plus, and AD been out the whole year. They only played 21 games, probably maybe 22. Well, I don't even know. But I'm just saying, Westbrook wasn't built for that. Westbrook's really coming into that Lakers team to be as the number 2 or number 3. Not to say, oh my God, breaking news, AD's out for such and such. Oh my God, LeBron is out. Like, and then when he takes off, and I'm going to tell you now, what people don't understand when it comes to basketball terminology. As a coach, when you know LeBron out and AD out, automatically, it's a rough night for Westbrook before he even start. Reason why? Because most teams going to say, we're going to make Westbrook shoot. No, LeBron is on the floor. No, AD is on the floor. If I'm a coach, I'm going to strategize to make sure Westbrook don't beat me to the basket. So those games become horrible because you expect Westbrook to do everything to carry them to victory. Then when he don't, people look at him, Westbrook ain't this, Westbrook ain't that. And I'm not saying that on the bias though, but when you ain't got those star players there and they only been there for 21 games, yes, they should have won at least 15 of those 20 games while they were there. It just won't it. But I'm just saying, like, you just can't just necessarily just point it on him. And I think that's where Westbrook real frustration comes from. Like, I've been available all year. Yeah, I played bad, but these guys ain't been around. They ain't getting no great. Ain't nobody talking about AD. Ain't nobody talking about LeBron. Everybody's pointing a finger at Westbrook. Which that was LeBron's decision. LeBron's decision was to bring him there. So, and that's what people talking about ESPN today. Are like, everything that's going on with Lakers, ain't nobody talking about LeBron. Ain't nobody talking about the decision he really made. That wasn't a Rob Pelinka decision to bring Westbrook in. If it was up to Rob Pelinka, Westbrook wouldn't have been there. Jeannie Buss just want the organization to win. So it's definitely not a what's the word for it?
It wasn't an organizational decision.
Right. That was straight up LeBron. So LeBron should be the one handling this. And that's another thought. Hold on a second. I think I got some comments over here. Oh, my man, James Quavo. Hold on. Because we were talking about rest last night. They were talking about they think about trading for us, which I doubt it. I ain't gonna lie. For me, raw thoughts as a biased person, if he in Charlotte, Brian Jones Sr., aka Prime Time, is on the way to Charlotte now.
What's your box of Bojangles? What's your box of Bojangles?
And look, and by the way, raw thoughts, I love the picnic fry. So with that being said, that's what it is. Oh
no, he's
well,
gonna be out.
No,
He's
he's
gonna be
out.
out, James. He's
Yeah,
gone.
he's gone.
He's gone. Man. He's gone.
So,
My co-host Aaron and said to me, was like, "Oh, he's like, I thought Vogel was the guy, blah blah." And I'm like, "Yo," I said, one, they won a championship with him, so let's not act like that didn't happen, right? Two, he needs a rough, rugged type team, right? When he was at his top of his game in Indiana, when they went to back-to-back conference finals, like they was beating people up, not literally, but I mean they was super physical. So David West was a throwback player. Roy Hibbert, all them guys from Georgetown are big and slow, except for Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing. But it's just like that he was that guy, right? So and then you had emerging Paul George, you had a young George Hill. Danny Granger was still good before he got hurt. Those couple years. So he needs that type of team to be successful. They even made some waves with him in Orlando. So to make it seem like it was all on Frank, once again, this always happens. Frank Vogel out and is the new David Blatt, right? Someone's got to be the scapegoat. It can't be number 6. It can't be number 23. It has to be the coach, because there's no way you can have that guy on the team and not get to a certain level. To me, it's unbelievable. But to answer that, yeah, James, sorry. Frank Vogel definitely will be gone. I don't get the Doc Rivers rumors either. Like, to me, he's not much better at this moment. This is not 2008 or 2009. To me, Doc's best coaching days are behind him, and that says a lot for me saying that, because I've been a Doc Rivers supporter, for quite some time because of what he did for us in Boston. But yeah, I think they maybe need to go a different route. Like, see if you get a guy like Monty Williams. Granted, Monty Williams not gonna leave Phoenix right now, but just see what you can get. But yeah, Frank Vogel, Doc Rivers, like those guys aren't the answer. And I'm like, I said Jason Kidd ain't coming back either. So I don't know, but they're definitely in trouble. Like Jimmy Butler said a few years ago, he was a bit premature, but he wasn't wrong. The Lakers are definitely in trouble, and without trading one of those 3 guys. Obviously, you have to trade LeBron. But I think that, if they trade AD, I think they can get the best, because I think you set the way for this. I think if they trade him to Chicago and get back Vucevic, Lonzo and Caruso, or one of those, or Patrick Williams, one of that combination, or even like a Kobe White to help out the bench, like I think that would be great. And then you can trade Russ to somewhere in the East. It doesn't have to be Charlotte. It could be somewhere else. But
$47 million. Are you trading him $47 million just to sell tickets, or are you trading him $47 million just to get?
That's what Washington did. Washington did that.
Washington ain't everybody though. And look, think about it. Let's think about it. They had $41 million, right? And the Lakers literally said, sources, ESPN, they're trying to trade Russell Westbrook everywhere this year off a $44 million contract. Excuse me. Everybody said no. That was before All-Star break. So you think that's still gonna happen?
Well, because somehow, some way, I just feel like when the premier franchises start asking other teams, like somehow, some way, I feel like either Adam Silver or someone calls in and says, "Look, just do them a favor and get certain players back." Like,
I like that.
That happens. That definitely happens.
The Knicks denied it last year. Now
that definitely happens. Hell yeah.
All right, so
I got another raw thought before you move on to the next thing. And because this is unrelated, but I put some money on that Zion Williamson's the New York Knicks by August.
Hey, look, timeout. That ain't even raw thought. Timeout. I'm about to say, Jay, I'm gonna hit you with this. My dad just talked to me about this about 2 hours ago.
Yep.
Zion Wilson gonna be a Knickerbocker, and he was telling me that literally. I'm like, I know. He said, I don't think he's gonna be in the Knicks. So you all right? I got you. All right, so. Before I go to the rest of LeBron questions before we end the show, I have what I call raw mind, raw thoughts, random time, and fan time. So here we go. The fan time is will Tua have the oh Lord.
Go ahead.
I spelled it wrong. Hold on a second.
Well, I get what he said though. I said, will Tua have the arm to utilize?
I want to make sure my spelling right because I ain't a bad speller.
Gotcha.
don't want nobody to think I'm bad.
I do have an answer to that, though. I could go first when you do it. I got you.
Hold on. I see it again.
Hit the space bar. Hit the space bar. Hey, this is a podcast. We not in class. We not in class.
All right, here we go. Yeah, no, you ain't gonna get me like that. Oh no.
So yeah, I'll go first.
Question of the day.
Yeah. So to the fan that asked that, no. He's not going to throw anything deep. Like they're not going to throw any go routes with those guys, right? It's going to be a lot of intermediate passing, a lot of deep shallow crossing. So they'll get a lot of yak yards with those two guys on the field with Waddle and Hill. Even Gesicki, because Gesicki is runs about a 4.45 for a tight end, which is crazy. So they have a lot of speed really everywhere. So, but no, to say that his arm is going to get better just because he has those two guys, no. Will his numbers improve? Absolutely. But he doesn't have an arm that's going to be throwing down the field 40 or 50 yards. Everything will be 10 to 15, maybe 20 on a good day.
How you feel about that, Jed?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I don't think he's going to be asked to utilize his arm strength all that much either. I think Mike McDaniel is going to want to play it safe with him because he's got two receivers on the outside that are just burners that are going to be able to they can create space for themselves. So as long as you can just put the ball in their hands, those two are going to make plays in Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And I expect Tyreek to be kind of used, and I don't want it to get misunderstood or misconstrued, but I think he's going to be used more like a Deebo Samuel. They're going to use him kind of as a give the ball to him, let him make plays. He's not going to line up like Deebo did at straight up running back and just take handoffs.
Right.
But as long as you can get him the ball, he's going to make a play. That's what they brought him in there for. Tua's arm is good enough. I mean, he's an NFL quarterback, so it's good enough. He's extremely accurate. So just like, what he said, I think it's going to be a lot of intermediate stuff, just like was already said. So.
All right, so we're gonna go to the next topic. With that being said, we're gonna go to. I got 3 more topics left on this podcast. NBA MVP. Don't take too long. Give me your MVP. Ray.
So I'm going with the Joker. If we're going off what the
back MVPs.
Yeah, back to. I mean, listen. When 27, 14, and 8, that's. I mean, listen, 8 assists per center is ridiculous. Like that's a joke how good he's become. And to me, this season he's even better than he was last year. When you're the first person to have 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists. Once again, they gave Russ that 3 years ago for getting the triple double. As you know, Jared.
By the way, shout out to. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you the real problem with Russ. Shout out to OKC. You know what they said? They said, you know what? You been here, you stay loyal. We're gonna give you all this money, and we're gonna see you off. Shout out to Sam Preston for making those deals happen. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Shout out to the agent too, right?
Yeah.
Definitely out there stealing money, but no. But listen, Jokic has been nothing short of amazing, and once again, no Murray, no Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon picks and chooses what day he wants to be a decent starter. So I just think with that being said, when you have the first person in NBA history to go 2,000, 1,500, and he literally shows up every night, with a dad bod. Once again, not fat shaming. I'm 300 pounds myself, so it is kind of calm down for those that are thinking about that as they listen to this. So not shaming, just being real. And it makes it even more amazing that he has a dad bod and he's serving everyone numbers on a regular basis. So, I'll keep it short, like you said, but yeah, I'm going with Jokic.
Yeah, I'm also going with Jokic just because, like, let's be honest, the MVP has become a numbers award. Like, who has some of the better numbers, and that's Jokic, because Jokic has done it without all-stars. And his numbers have improved from last year when he was the MVP. So it's pretty simple. It's Jokic.
Who you got? Who you got, Ryan?
Oh, that's another thing right there. I mean, for me, Jokic definitely is the one. But man, it's hard to go against Giannis, man. Like Giannis could be the guy who come out the East again. So,
Yeah, but see, it's not about who's coming out the East. See,
but
that's
the stats. When I was talking to my guy yesterday, like Jokic's stats is
it's
just
crazy.
it. Right. So I can't go against them. But this is me saying I can't go against Jokic, but I gotta throw somebody out there for him, if that makes sense.
Think about that though. We witnessed another team making history, and I say team because it's an individual award, but it's about the team's success too.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even talk about Devin Booker. Them boys,
we had some topics about that. We had some topics about that.
Like Devin Booker has been once again. I said this a few years ago that Golden State should look to trade Clay for Devin Booker. You wouldn't lose much, and that people was like, "You out of your mind." Well, a few years later, granted, he didn't win anything yet, but someone that gets 25, 5-5, number 13 pick. I know number 13. I know another 13 pick that was getting numbers like that too. So he's the real deal. He's a problem. So he deserves some consideration as well. I would have said Tatum, but Tatum took too long to get to where he's at right now, unfortunately.
James Quavo Brown said, because I had another topic before that. He said Doc Rivers' job on the line in Philly.
So go answer that one. You want to
see? Say no.
I don't think it is.
But you do know the Lakers said they're firing Frank Vogel to get Doc Rivers or with Snyder out of Duke alum, out of Utah to LA. Which one do you think they'll pick?
I mean, I'd take Doc. I mean, I think Doc is an LA guy. He would be a good replacement for Vogel, but I mean, at this point, if Russ helps into that $47 million, don't matter who the coach is, they ain't winning nothing.
Right. And I said to myself, like with Doc coaching Boston, I don't know if he wanted to go to the LA Lakers, LA Clippers. He went to LA Clippers. It's like it's the LA Clippers. It's not the LA Lakers. But when you play in Boston, you win a championship in Boston. Then they ask you to come to the LA Lakers.
He went to Philly.
Doc could be in the perfect situation, huh?
He went to Philly.
But Lakers, LA Lakers, Boston Celtics are rivals, are real rivals.
Philly is just as big as a rival as I'm telling you. Someone else. I'm from here. I live here. You got to think about from the Dr. J days, the Will Chamberlain days when Bill Russell was kicking his ass. Then, the Boston Strangler game. Andrew Toney when he played for Philly. Billy Cunningham, Charles Barkley, and Larry Bird get into a fight in the preseason. Like, it's real. It's real between Philly and Boston. And then obviously what happened a few years. Then again, we should have considered a rivalry because every time we played them in the playoffs, really the last 40 years, we've beaten them every time. No matter who's been on the roster, no matter how many MVPs they've had on their team, we've always gotten the job done. Just saying. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, if he went to Philly, he'll go to LA. But to answer the question, no, it shouldn't be on the line. Could he talk to them Philly management about leaving potentially? Who knows? He knows Daryl Morey well because Daryl Morey was actually an assistant GM in Boston to Danny Ainge back in the day before he ended up going to Houston. So there is history there, which is why I think that's how that job got. The job was really afforded to him or given to him, so to speak. But he should. I don't think there's no loyalty in that regard that he'll just go to LA. That would make the rivalry even better because if he's going there and he comes into Boston and they're both doing well, that would be phenomenal.
All right. So with that being said, hold on a second. Because I know we had some MVP, some other questions. Me and you'll talk about it, Ray. Jared, man, I know you've been a busy guy. You got some other engagements, so tell everybody where you're from, where you at, what if all of you, all that good stuff. For me and Ray finish up.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram And I'm on TikTok. I'm trying to do the TikTok. I don't get the. I'm younger and I don't understand TikTok at all. But I'm on Instagram and YouTube at the Jared Barnes Show, and you can catch me there. I got the Tap In Live show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But yeah, I'm a Florida guy, born and raised in Pittsburgh though.
Oh, what part of Florida?
Pensacola.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
You from where Roman Reigns is at?
They had the table. The tribal
Acknowledge me. Acknowledge me.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey man, have a great night, man.
Hey,
Look,
thanks for having me
So
on.
next time you come up, we're gonna do a what we call a reel together, and it's we'll talk about it later. Hey, you
right,
take
bro.
care of yourself, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Ray, let's go, man. Let's go. So NBA MVP. You already gave the MVP. All right, this is the next one right here. You ready? LeBron says who he wants to play with.
Mm-hmm.
He said his son, of course, that's number one. He said a guy, I shoot better than myself. Steph Curry. How do you feel about that? And give me your raw thoughts on that, and where does that take you?
So the trolling side of me says this is why people say that he'll never be Jordan. You would have never heard.
Tell me what you feel about that.
No, I'm saying just the trolling side
of the viewers, not you. I'm
talking
talking about the viewers. Leave your comments, viewers. Leave your comments.
Yeah, leave the comments. I just think, to me, you would have never heard Michael say, "Man, I want to go play with Reggie Miller," or "I want to go play with Patrick Ewing," or "I want to go play with whatever player," right? Because in people's minds, Mike played with just plumbers and electricians and and janitors, right? So he didn't play against anybody. Only for a few seasons. But all jokes aside, because I was being funny on that, I just think, well, yeah, hell yeah. Why wouldn't you want to play with Steph Curry, right? Like he is the greatest shooter this game has ever seen, and it's not really close. I know
right.
there's people on here that will bring up, Reggie and Ray, and Dragan Petrovic that played in New Jersey for a little while, Dale Ellis who played back in the day. All those guys are great shooters. None of those compare or pale in comparison to what Steph Curry's been able to do. He literally has changed the game forever. And we need to thank the ABA and NBA for merging in the mid-'70s, because without that merger, we don't get the 3-point shots. We don't get guys that would be marksmen from three. So I don't blame LeBron for saying that, but once again, I just think that's something that could have been kept behind closed doors. Once again, I know that he doesn't give, he doesn't care what anyone really has to say at this point in his career. But it's not like it's going to happen where, they're trading Jordan Poole, Clay, and somebody else for LeBron for him to play and go to State like that. That's not happening, or vice versa. So, yeah, but I think there's people that really didn't want to hand over that title to him anyways as being the GOAT are going to harp on this and say, well, this is probably why he'll never be compared to, or shouldn't be Jordan, or be ahead of Jordan, I should say, even though he's already passed him in total points. It's just like it's crazy. But yeah, once again, I get it, but I think he should have kept that to the chest. Don't put that out there like that, in my opinion.
Raw thoughts for me, it's a vibe thing. This is the moment where it's a vibe thing, because LeBron is about, I'm ambitious, I gotta go. He's a Capricorn like me, so I get it. It's all about ambition, not in a bad way, not genuine, but it's about helping everybody around us. If I gotta be at the top and take all the blame, I'm cool with it. Like LeBron's Capricorn, he gets that. But Steph Curry, I told somebody else in the podcast, I'm like, Steph Curry is a fun guy. Like, if you see LeBron on the sideline, he breaking down things that needs to happen. Win or lose, Steph Curry's like, hey, it is what it is. If it was smoking bud, smoking weed, whatever, it didn't matter. Like, he's just happy. Like, he's the type of guy, win or lose, he's going to be the same guy. Steph Curry, when he said, nah, I'm good. No offense. It's like, I don't want to be in that vibe to where I got to be pressured to make 50 shots or 20 shots in a game, and here LeBron comes to the sideline because he realized the
reliability.
reality of it is that LeBron is still the number one option. Even if he can't shoot as well as everybody else, it's like, okay, so I want to be in a situation where I can't feel good, be myself, and I can be pressured to do certain things. So when you press it,
That's what you're gonna be doing next week on the couch, yawning. That's what you doing.
So
Mhm.
so you don't want to be pressured to do certain things, right? Because if you're a guy who's shooting amazing, best shooter of all time, and you're just in your own zone, you're with Steve Kerr, and they're letting you be who you are. But LeBron comes to the team, the vibe gonna change. Not because it's LeBron, it's because all the pressure that's on LeBron, and let's say it comes from the skies, LeBron's pressure, but it pushes out because LeBron hasn't pushed it out to everybody else because he's LeBron.
Right.
Not a perfect match because right now, Curry win or lose, he's at the beach. LeBron will win or lose, he in the courtroom. Like he's judged. Curry win or lose, he gonna be on the beach. So in Curry's mind, it's like, why would I want to bring that attention to me and put all that mental stress on me when it's really not me? People really after LeBron. I'm good with it.
Yeah, but that's not fair though. That's not fair. And the reason why
I guess it's not fair because the reason why I'm saying, I know what you're saying, it's not fair. But I'm gonna tell you why the fairness and the unfairness comes in. Raw thoughts. People compare LeBron to Jordan. So when LeBron comes to your team, they expect Jordan-like greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry, although he's an amazing shooter, greatness, they're not comparing him to Jordan. So when you bring LeBron in, it's like it's Jordan-like greatness, and he has expectations. Don't get twisted. Steph Curry got expectations. But if he win or lose, if he don't even make it to the finals this year, ain't nobody gonna be mad at Steph Curry. Like they're gonna be mad at LeBron not making the playoffs. But go ahead, Ray. The floor is yours now.
This is his 13th season, right? Meaning Steph Curry, or 14th. No, 13th. Yeah, 13th. He came out in 2009.
Right.
He was number 7 pick. You know, some people think he should have won 1, maybe even 2 or 3. But the fact that Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn were picked before him is always blasphemous in my opinion. But once again, we're drafts about projection, and those guys were projected to be better than the step at the time.
Right.
Despite the crazy tournament run that he had in Davidson, but whatever. Needless to say, Steph Curry never came out saying that I'm chasing ghosts. He didn't say I'm chasing the ghost. He didn't come out saying I'm the chosen one. We never seen the media coverage. Like I equate the LeBron James thing to remember when 50 Cent came out. We was joking about G-Unit the other day because you had shout out to Lloyd Banks. We on fire up in here.
We on fire.
Right. So I remember that 50 Cent hype, that buzz was crazy in 2002, right? And that's when LeBron was about to come out. They played Matter Day. They played Oak Hill when Melo was there at the same time before going to Syracuse. And, obviously remember Lenny Cook, Sebastian Telfair, all those guys that came out around that time. We've never seen a buzz like this when it came to LeBron James. So he was getting covers in high school on Slam and on ESPN magazine saying, is he next up? So from the age of 16. So that's why it is. But the reason why people get mad is because he has been the one that threatened it the most. Listen, he passed Jordan in scoring. He passed him in assists, passed him in rebounds. People should be thankful that he didn't get the 5th and 6th ring. At least not yet, anyways. You know what I'm saying? People should be thankful because he's done everything else. Because to me, it's the Brady Montana thing. People talked about Brady, man. Well, Montana was 4-0. He never lost. And I'm like, wait a minute.
It's tough. Like,
I said,
wait a minute. 4-0, 7 Super Bowls. He still got them more. Like, right.
But I'm like, it's like, wait a minute. Like, okay, I said, I get it. 4-0, amazing. Joe Montana, top to me, still top 3. I don't care the numbers. I don't care. Like when you're 4-0 like that.
Right.
Yeah, come on. That's Let's give good credit where it's due. But they would talk about Brady didn't pass Montana until they beat Atlanta, and that was in year 15 and 16. you know what I'm saying? So like he had already been to 3 Super Bowls. He had won 4 already. He had all the numbers then. So it's just like I feel like we just pick and choose when we want to say greatness is greatness. But I went off on that tangent, but I want to get back to LeBron and Steph. Like, Steph should be judged at that same level because once again, he is a game changer, and I get it. It's like, oh, it's the beautiful family with Aisha and Riley,
but nobody not gonna judge him because I'm gonna tell you why. People don't look at him. They look at him as Dale Curry. They look at him as a relaxed guy. LeBron doesn't have the dog, but before he came out of high school, like you said earlier, he was I even have a T-shirt that says "Chosen One."
Chosen One. Yeah.
Nobody looked at stuff like that, so they're like, "Okay, you still in LeBron there? We're not gonna bother you right now." Go ahead, Ray.
No, right, and that's true, but it's like, listen, he went to 5 straight finals himself. Me and Steph Curry.
It's crazy. So my question is, why he's not judged?
Come on,
why he's not judged to be there compared to LeBron being there? And people judge him.
No, five straight though. 5. He went.
Yeah, you talking about Steph Curry, right?
Yeah, Steph went to 5.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is he not judged the same way LeBron is? That's what I'm asking.
No, I personally I hold him accountable, so I can't speak about.
I guess.
But I'm just saying they both listen. At the end of the day, they both exceeded expectations. Let's be honest. Like to LeBron has lived up to the hype and then some. Let's come on. I'm listening. I'm basking in the glory that they're going to be at home next week. But let's be real. he has exceeded. Right? You like that Keith Lee reference? Basking my glory. Yeah. No, but it's just like, yo, like come on. But they both have exceeded expectations, though. They have. But listen, I'm not mad at Steph for saying what he said because I would have said the same thing. Like I'm good. I don't need to play with him right now. I got Clay. I got Dre when he's right. We got Jordan Poole doing their thing. Like the Warriors in a much better position than LA is. Once again, LeBron is in win now mode every year, so he feels like, well, I got to get the veterans to play because I don't have time to raise and mature and nurture a 21, 22-year-old. Well, you were that 21 and 22-year-old at one point. And granted, I know that you accepted it at that age.
I was really prime time then.
Yeah.
Don't tell the wifey that. Yeah,
it's already on air. So strike that from the tape. Oh my
god, man.
But no, man, I don't know. I mean, like I was all over the place with this, but I just think they both should be held accountable. They both have exceeded expectations, and I love the fact that Steph said that I'm good. Once again, LeBron shouldn't even put that out there. You shouldn't have put it out there that you want to play with him. You could have said, yeah, there's a few guys I think of, but I won't name them because I'm a competitor. Cool, leave it at that. He just had to say, oh yeah, I like to play with Steph Curry. Once again, he even put pressure on the son by saying,
like, that's the point. Like, LeBron is intentional. Like, I put pressure on myself to put more attention on myself to where even if I ain't playing the playoffs, people will say they're going to still think about me. They'll be on his next barbershop episode. They're still thinking about me, right? So I get it, but whoever's in the playoffs, let this be their time and be cool with it. So with that being said, Ray, hold on, I'm gonna make sure I ain't missed nothing. No, I didn't. Ray, tell everybody where you from, where you at. I saw you get the tablet out. You got any more questions? You got something for raw mind? Because I'm gonna give you raw mind thoughts.
Yeah, no, I had to make sure I respond to somebody real quick. No. So listen, before I get into all the social media stuff and what I'm doing now, once again, I always thank you for letting me come on, man. I think we first show I did with you was like last March, and we've built a brotherhood very quickly. And like I said, we haven't met in person. We both know our guy TJ, so which is ironic how that's so funny how that happened. I was super tight with him in Miami, and then I meet you randomly, and then this becomes what this became. So so like I'm always grateful for the opportunity. But yes, like I said, the name is Rayshawn Buchanan. I do go by Hollywood Ray as well. I have one of the shows I do, Missing the Point, has just been signed by this media company called Crowworthy, which is out of Boston. So we're now on this show called the 617 Podcast.
So with that being said, I'm going to stop because like this is your time, man. Like I'm all about building everybody else. How did that happen? How do you?
So I mean, we have been. It kind of really came out of nowhere, honestly, man. We've been doing this for a couple of years now, and all of us did radio together in college, and so we came together to do this podcast a few years ago, and just steady grinding, putting out stuff on a weekly basis, and I actually do security at the at TD Garden where the Celtics and Bruins play, and
that being said, folks, when I make it big, he gonna be my security. So I want to hear. Hey, look.
No. We're both gonna make it big, so someone else is gonna be.
You daggone right. So, I didn't cuss. I said you daggone right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it really is. But until then, I got you. But no, I think I was working the Bad Bunny concert, and I get a message from one of my co-hosts, and he says, "Hey, we've been approached with this deal. I know you missed the meeting tonight, but we got approached with this deal. We're thinking about signing. Go ahead and take a look at it." So we looked at the details or whatever, and kind of had our negotiating times with them, and it all moves pretty quickly. But I mean, someone believed in the talent, and like I said, I am super grateful for the opportunity. I'm still doing the other show. That's My Sports. Like I'm still excited about that. So excited about the growth that show is making as well. So I'm just glad that someone sees the potential, and like I said, I hope that someone else sees the potential with the other show as well. But I'm thankful to Crowworthy. I'm thankful to the people over there that chose to take a chance, and the only way is up from here. So that being said, you can follow that page is THE, so the 617 underscore. You'll see a logo with the 617 on there. Huh? Someone made a comment.
Yo, man, what the world, Ray? My brother Bray Lynn been at. So y'all been live for 2 hours, and he just found out. I'm heartbroken because he's supposed to be on this show. All these comments and the other guy we had on.
Tell him.
Because I know Ray Lynn is out there signing autographs, right? In Congress and all that stuff.
Wait,
man, don't hurt, man.
Ray Lynn,
I know you
hear. I know you listen to us. Listen. I'm telling you now. So if next Friday, I believe right now I'm off next Friday. I know that's Good Friday. I'm off next Friday, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, every week is Good Friday.
Yeah. Exactly. Amen to that.
God, boy, I'm here, boy. I'm hurt,
so
boy.
If you need,
my boy Ray, God, we've been here for a minute.
Come on. If you need me to come on next Friday, man, to do a playoff thing with me and Ray Lynn, I got you. Just let me know. But needless to say, because that threw me off. That's my guy. What's up, man? But so you can follow that show. It's 617, and then you can other rain.
I told people earlier today, Ray. I told earlier today. I told people like this the other Ray. I said it like it.
Well, I mean, listen, I have to be the other Ray because technically I am the younger brother, so to speak. So that's okay. I think I know you're older, so it's okay. I'll defer to the big bro, so no problem. But yeah, like I said, you can still follow the show at MTP underscore pod. We're on the 617 podcast, so it's called the 617. So the 617 then underscore afterwards. So follow us on there. Follow us on the TMS podcast. So it's TMS and then podcast. So yeah, we're making moves, man. And like I said, I'm excited for the opportunity. And once again, I give thanks to people like you, Ray Lynn, to have me on his show. You being on your shows have allowed me to help perfect my craft when I'm not on my actual show. So yeah, and then just continue to network, continue to build. And, you know, I believe that the same thing that's happening for me is going to happen for you. It's going to happen for Ray Lynn. It's going to happen for Jared, the guy that was on here tonight. Because to me, he sounds super talented. So yeah, I'm excited to see how everyone grows, man. And you know, in the words of John Cena, my time is now. So it's time to get it.
And that's what I was saying. So like, Ray, whenever you want to come on, even tomorrow, whatever, just let me know. But like, I just been grateful to be around so much great people. And by the way, Ray, I don't know if you know, I went to Jacksonville to coach my son when you a few weekends ago.
Nice.
Not this weekend before. And man, I swear, man, Ray Lynn, it's what he say, the real Ray Lynn, the real Ray, show me love, man. And I would never take that for granted. And like, it's a lot of gratitude. And
yeah, Ray Lynn, a beast.
Like,
though,
I'm on it.
He's a beast.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
I'm just.
I gotta wait. He told
I'm just on it, man, because we had some raw thoughts.
Yeah, he told
at
me
the dinner table one night. But man, I swear, like, you can't find nobody better than Ray.
Yeah,
you gotta come to North Carolina. His name, I mean, just for the principle of like, just to hang with us, like,
yeah,
I swear, the best time of my life, 2022.
Sounds good.
With that being said, you guys have a great night, great morning, great afternoon. Raw Thoughts is out. We had 2 hours and 36 seconds of Raw Mind.